Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Blue Thunderpod WWE Edition. I'm your host, Billy Sullivan. With me, as always, my mom's favorite podcast host, and il est très beau, Dave Linovich.
Simplement du. Simplement du.
Do you know what il est très beau means?
Il est très beau?
Yeah,
No.
he's very handsome.
Damn right. Oui, oui.
I looked that up on Google Translate right this second, so I don't speak French.
I was doing Duolingo French for like 6 months, and I abandoned it.
Did you give up when like Stuss dominated it in Spanish?
No, it was before
out
that,
of nowhere, like the biggest swerve in the history of my friendships.
Yeah, all of a sudden
speaks Spanish for an hour and a half,
yeah. like quietly to himself just to prove a point. No, I stopped before that, but as I'm watching SmackDown and then Backlash, I'm like, man, do I wish I stuck with it for another 6 months because I could have been so a part of this show.
I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I know, où avez-vous couché avec quoi?
Je m'appelle Guillaume. I remember that's from 7th grade.
Je m'appelle Billy.
That's about the extent.
Simplement du.
So what do you want to talk about first in the week of WWE?
Before we get into French territory, did you see what Ric Flair did?
Oh yeah, baby. Yes, I did. And then I heard like today that he's threatening to sue. Like, no, what for what? Being a douchebag.
He pitched a bitch that the restaurant manager or the cook.
He was super shit-faced and being recorded.
Yeah. It was taking too long in the bathroom, and he had already taken 20 pictures of people, and he lost his fucking mind. It's like, ma'am, does this guy get good press?
I mean...
For real. Like, when's the last good thing you heard Ric Flair get press for?
Not a great guy, Dave.
Just keeps proving me right.
I love that they weren't even trying to kick him out. They were just telling him he was cut off, and he was still losing his shit. Like,
after that Kill Tony thing, I'm like, oh, he can't. This is going to be the worst thing he ever did, right?
Yeah.
And like, he's Ric Flair in some fucking diner, like just belittling people trying to make rent.
Using wrestling terms too, like the fucking waitress that has any idea what he's like. I put this restaurant over all the time. It's like, I don't know what the fuck put the restaurant over means. Yeah. Stop talking like you're talking to Bruno San Martino. You
look at all the people that like. Just look at WWE. Like, Shawn Michaels runs NXT. Triple H runs WWE. And they both look up to this guy like he is Hercules carved out of granite himself. Like, how did he...
Meanwhile, he's like a GJ's guy. Like he's like just... he has no redeeming positive qualities.
Just come on, man.
Still wants to do another retirement match.
They said he had 2 heart attacks during his last one.
He did. Which were visible. If you ever watch the match, it's like... it looks like a guy trying to wrestle through 2 heart attacks.
Just...
Mon Dieu. Sacre bleu. Ric Flair, sacre bleu.
That's enough of that shit. And other good news. France, I think now... gets a WrestleMania.
So, like, I always said Chicago is the best wrestling city. Apparently, Lyon, France is, like, by fucking far. I don't know how those people, there was some cocaine use or something going on. I've never seen a crowd stay that hot nonstop for 2.5 hours.
At one point, I did write, they're getting tired. And they go, nope, they're
not. Like, for Backlash, like, they were hot for SmackDown.
Yeah.
But, like, for Backlash, with the wrestlers were visibly, when they were coming out, like, holy shit, what's going on here? Yeah. Like Kevin Owens got like weepy looking and then did a thing that he never does where he like goes up into the like crowd kind of to like soak it in. Bayley looked like she was going to cry. Like it was unbelievable. This crowd, you telling me that they're going to do all, I think you said, right? All non-Big Four are going to be international. That's the best possible move. Like we need just more international wrestling everywhere. Like this last couple of years, it's just been so. I mean, out of Puerto Rico is not technically international. We just make them a goddamn state anyway. But like more just traveled wrestling because these crowds that don't get to see these shows, when they finally do, it's like orgasmic from them the entire time.
And especially if it's in an arena.
Yeah.
So like when they go to Saudi and it's in like an open air stadium.
You know me, I prefer arenas to stadiums. Like for wrestling, it just is better.
For this reason, and they said like, this was the highest grossing event in SmackDown history.
Yeah, that means they charged a goddamn ridiculous, because it was only 11,000 people.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a sellout at 11,000, but like they must have charged like $200 a pop or something for that to be the highest grossing.
Simple Monday.
I was impressed by how many actual English chants. They knew every song too. At least every non Def Rebel song, every good one.
Every song with lyrics.
Yeah.
They didn't just sing the part we all know.
No, they sang the whole goddamn thing.
The whole stadium sang the entire goddamn song.
And they like musically had good timing because like when they were singing the Cody thing, they all knew when it was the right time for that to be the last lyric, and then all just cheer. Even though it wasn't necessarily the end of the song. They just had like good musical timing.
This is me being super ignorant. Is France big soccer country?
Yeah, everywhere is a big soccer country except us, Dave.
Okay. See, I prefaced it with being ignorant.
Yeah, they're big.
But what I'm getting at is like these soccer
football
towns,
and basketball.
soccer towns, man.
Yeah,
They're on another level.
Soccer's got the chant thing.
They got
down,
another level.
But we've seen it from the UK quite a bit, and like I was not expecting it from France though.
No,
I had no idea that there was. You think the French would be like turn their again? It's what American media has told me about the French all these years. I'm supposed to hate them for some reason. But I think like the French should turn their nose up to something as brutal as nonsensical as professional wrestling. No, they love it more than me somehow. Like, it was absolutely amazing.
They and the card was a good show, by the way. The dark matches.
Yeah.
There were 3 dark matches. Rey Mysterio versus Carlito.
All right.
Jey Uso versus Finn Balor. And Cody Rhodes versus Shinsuke Nakamura. That was their fucking dark matches.
On SmackDown?
SmackDown.
Jesus Christ.
So as we have not been quietly alluding to, the crowd was lava hot. Sold out 11,101 people in the LDLC arena. Highest grossing SmackDown in history. And then they start showing the intros. They show Cody on the screen. Massive pop. It was like a Brock Lesnar came back in 2012 pop. Just showing him on the screen.
What was cool too is like seeing how other countries, how not nationalistic they are. Because like America, if ever it's somebody wearing like a different flag all the time or whatever, like they're naturally just not going to be that over in America. Cody's like most Mr. America, his American Nightmare. He's got the Homelander gear on. He's got an American flag tattooed on his goddamn neck, and everybody's like, "We love you so much." Like in France, they don't give a shit.
It went the other way too because they show AJ Styles, massive boo.
Yeah. They were like more. They understood their job more than any wrestling crowd I've seen since like the 80s.
It was such a stark difference when they came back to the United States for Monday Night Raw, and you're just like, you fucking.
And it was a Raw that I loved, but I'm like, you lazy, stupid idiots.
It made us
do your job.
Just not. It really, really made me. Second guess.
I hate American WWE crowds generally.
Well, not even more so.
This now, I'm like, just do every show overseas.
Yeah. Like after you start noticing Backlash last year, Clash at the Castle.
Yeah, Clash at the Castle was awesome.
This show, you're just like, fucking all out, all in.
And
in London.
Again, it's not international, but it's close to international. Puerto Rico was
last year Backlash,
crowd. Yeah. Oh, it was Backlash.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
They show Kevin Owens and RKO, huge pop, dude. When they turn the strobe light, when they turn like the not strobe lights, the spotlights on inside the arena, the place went fucking ballistic over spotlights.
That's for everything. I really, really, really like Kevin Owens and Randy Orton as a tag. I mean, it's almost a joke at this point that Randy Orton always should have been a tag wrestler.
Yeah,
that's what he is. Always what he should have been. But like, he just has a really good dynamic with a bunch of different guys, and the Kevin Owens one works wonderfully.
Yeah, absolutely. And they look like they're having fun.
Yeah,
like they're not being selfish. Like
Kevin Owens is always having fun. He recently said that he's like, I've had fun everything I've done in this company except for my U.S. title run. It was like everything else.
Oh, really?
I've had a great time.
Yeah, that was like pretty. When he had 2 different colored boots on.
Yeah.
So the opening match was Bayley, Naomi, Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill versus Dakota Kai, the Kabuki Warriors, and Tiffany Stratton. This went 8 minutes 27 seconds.
A lot of talent in that ring.
Totally. The way they came out was a little odd because they didn't announce them like fully one team, fully another team. Yeah. But whatever. Tiffany got a huge pop. Naomi, they all got big pops.
Was Dakota Kai, did she be on the mic here or something? I didn't write notes for SmackDown.
Not maybe after the match.
She does at some point during these 3 shows we're talking about.
Yeah.
Dakota Kai gets on the
Raw.
mic and cuts a promo. Then I'm like, God damn, Dakota, that's great.
On Monday Night Raw, she definitely talked.
Oh, it's Raw. Okay.
We'll just say it's a weird entrance order because I didn't note this correctly. Right when the match started, Bayley's in the ring. And the crowd does the hey Bayley.
Which, full disclosure, by the way, I watched Backlash before I went back and watched this SmackDown. Yeah. So, like, my feelings about this SmackDown are slightly muted, despite it being like a super hot crowd and everything. The crowd for Backlash the next night was so goddamn insane that it made it difficult for me to like watch this very good crowd on SmackDown and get the correct vibes. Yeah. So if I sound like I'm understating stuff, it's just because I happened to watch a pay-per-view that I liked better than WrestleMania. Yeah. Right before.
I mean, felt bigger.
I
felt bigger.
Enjoyed it more. It was a match that when we did our picks, I was like, this is a nothing show. And after it was done, like,
but look how fast we went through it, right? Yeah. We're just like, this should get its own standalone, but like for being a glorified house show,
the
crowd made it so fucking special.
So much in wrestling.
That's why
it makes the wrestlers work harder too.
Yes,
it makes them just do better. Like,
that's why, like we talk about on the other episode, if you have not listened to Blue Thunderpod AEW edition, we do not talk about it this week.
Check it out. It is dropping at the same time.
Dropping at the same time. How couldn't give less of a fuck about the TV ratings because they're who cares? But like
doesn't affect this.
In the building matters. The crowd for this exact reason.
Yeah.
Right. So I wrote pay-per-view crowd. They all night they're doing the when they see a move coming. Bianca Belair gets tagged in, loud EST chants. They're reacting to literally every punch, move, kick, everything,
and full like babyface heel. Like bad guy does it, even if it's like not a very like well put together heel. Boo! Yeah, dastardly son of a bitch. Like you couldn't, as a promoter, you could not ask for a crowd.
It's like the whole stadium was going to the gallows after the show, and like there's like have fun. There were a ton of chants over the next 2 nights, as we have said. Simplement deux, which means only after every 2 count, the crowd would chant Simplement deux, and like immediately, it's like they had a conductor. Like they were always in perfect time. That means only 2.
It was 1, 2, simplement deux. Yeah. 1, 2, simplement deux. Every like.
I guess it's a catchphrase of the French guy, the commentators.
Must be. Yeah. I mean, it's essentially what we get. The 1, 2, ooh. Simon Miller says the 1, 2, ooh, whenever it's as close. They were doing that, but theirs was like much more involved. Yeah. Like they did it, like you said, in total unison every time.
Absolutely. Another chant was c'est pas gentil, which means that's not nice. Another chant was
that's like the please be careful. That's good.
C'est méchant. If you're French speaking and I'm butchering this, I apologize. That means that was mean. Agui Chero.
That was mean.
Oh, these are the 2 guys' last names of the French commentators. And then the one AJ Styles got was the il est vraiment phénoménal, la 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 la. That's a song. So it means, so what they're chanting is he is truly phenomenal. It's a like famous song in France.
He looks so goddamn confused.
From 1997, and it's used sarcastically by soccer fans to mock a player that makes a stupid mistake.
And the like Georgian flat earther was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
And they sang it unironically for him because he was. And then il a raison, which means he is right. And they chant it during the RKO show. But Simplement deux is the big one, and then il est vraiment. I don't remember the cadence exactly, but AJ Styles could have been knighted after.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was so fucking funny. Other spots in this match, whatever. Tiffany Stratton does that dope cartwheel that sets up the Alabama Slam that looks awesome every time.
Because it is. You don't see a lot of women doing the Alabama Slam either.
No.
It takes a lot of upper body strength.
You could tell, too, because some of the women don't know how to take the Alabama Slam either. They have to keep their bodies rigid for
they
it.
end up hardcore Hollying themselves.
Yeah. They look like they're like literal, like large, like body pillow being thrown. I wrote Jade looks like a monster, and Jade and Bianca Belair together look like they're beyond unbeatable.
Yeah. I like every time Jade does that. I mean, she was doing it even back in AEW, but when she does that transition where she catches her opponent and then flips her into the Jaded thing.
Can't wait to talk about what she did on Backlash. Because Jesus Lord.
Yeah.
The finish saw Bianca and Jade did a dual dominator. And then Asuka did a missile dropkick.
Evidently, Asuka's been working, according to my favorite wrestler in the world, Nia Jax. She's been working with like a badly torn ligament in her knee for like a long ass time.
Not good that she's hurt.
No, she's incredible. She's been. I couldn't tell at all. She's like Bryan Danielson. Like,
let her rest.
No idea.
Homegirl needs a. Naomi does a bubble bomb. Tiffany Stratton does a double like front foot stomp, which looks brutal every time she does it. Bayley does a Bayley to belly onto Tiffany Stratton. Dakota Kai does a scorpion kick. And then Bianca Belair does a KOD onto Dakota Kai for the finish. I think I said it once before. I think Bianca Belair is going to go down as the best wrestler in women's wrestling history.
It's definitely on the table.
Yeah,
like
she's right there, man.
She's the most physically talented I've ever seen.
I think so. And I think once they give her a heel run and she gets really good on the mic.
I've been calling for the heel thing for her for forever because that's the missing piece. That's the last thing. That's where she can get that's where she'll add those strikes, the big cracking and the elbow thing. And the character will be more than just I'm an athlete and here to win.
Yeah.
That's where she develops that, which she'll do because she does well at everything she tries.
Yes.
She'd be super awesome.
That's why she's the EST.
Yeah, she is the EST.
Backstage, after the match, we have Kayla Braxton with Bianca and Jade. They're confident they're going to win the tag team titles tomorrow. Bianca's real tired of Damage Control. She's ready for it to be done. And she goes, Damage Control has been coming at me my entire career. She looks off camera, like she's glaring off camera, and then we realize Bayley is in the room. This is good.
I love that they stuck with the Bayley thing.
Terrific.
Bayley's like been a babyface for a long time.
Man.
Change her music, though.
It sucks.
I hate it.
It's really bad.
And I love Bayley right now.
When she looks at Bayley, the crowd pops. And Bianca's kind of getting in Bayley's face, and then Bayley walks off, and the crowd boos. This is A+ storytelling.
Yep.
It just makes so much sense. This person ruined my goddamn life a couple years ago, and she's never fucking atoned for it.
And and just because you turn babyface doesn't change the fact that you did what you did, and you haven't even apologized. Like,
couldn't
wonderful.
say more great things about it. They recap. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I just a question. It's actually an opinion I want because I just thought of this. Are they going to turn them heel as a tag team? Because they should.
Of course they are.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because
they're going to be two dominants, right? And then start like, okay, good.
Because who's the big, who are heel ladies that they could fight? I think they're much more benefited. I think
they're it's more scary dominant tag teams.
But there's no one, like everyone would fight from underneath them anyway.
Yes.
So like just
make them heels. Yeah.
And like keep bolstering.
Plus then we get the Bianca heel turn that I've been back and forth for a year.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. They recap the Carmelo Hayes Cody match from last week. It's awesome.
That nobody cheered for because there were a bunch of dumb American WWE fans. I love international WWE fans. I just hate American WWE fans.
Backstage, we have Nick Aldis. By the way, Nick Aldis quietly becoming he's coming up on Angelo Dawkins as my favorite wrestler.
He's awesome. So he's awesome. I wish he would wrestle though, because he's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
I watched him at the original All In. I'm like, this guy's good. He had a great match with Cody.
Yeah.
And he's 35, and he's just a GM.
He's too
great
old.
GM.
He's too old. 35's too old.
He's like 7 years younger than Damian Priest.
Yeah. There's been this thing going around on the internet that one of the Golden Girls is 41. Like from the show Golden Girls?
Yeah.
One of them's 41.
Like during the show?
Like no, like her character on the show, she's 41.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Really?
And she's a golden girl.
What? I'm 44. I'm almost 45, Dave.
Sully, thank you for being a friend.
What was Estelle, like, supposed to be like 50? I thought she was 95 years old.
She's 28. She saw some shit. Aldis is happy to have Carmelo. Nick Aldis is backstage with Carmelo Hayes. And,
I guess people did look way older for their age back then.
Hang on, I gotta know now. Golden Girls.
Look at like
ages.
high school yearbooks from the 70s, and everybody looks like they're like 46.
No, why did it say she's 41? Oh, you know what? She might have been lying. Because
I hope so, because that makes me feel better.
All right, well, every character
She's
in
never
the
retired. Wasn't that the point of the show?
Yeah,
Really in a retirement community?
Yeah. Now that when I said it, I'm like, there's no way that's fucking accurate.
I'm sure they were all younger than what they were playing.
This is me not thinking when I see something I think is cool.
It's better to just say it out loud, though, on the air, because it makes for better.
Yeah. And if you'd like an entire 30 minutes of that, you can tune into the AEW edition of the Thunderpod, where I word vomit and have to quietly repent. Nick Aldis is backstage with Carmelo Hayes, and Nick Aldis is happy to have him on SmackDown. Carmelo says, last week I almost beat Cody Rhodes. Your boy got motion right now. I need to keep that momentum going, so I'm declaring myself for the King of the Ring tournament. Your favorite wrestler.
Do you know a sketch from TikTok?
I do
This
not.
is a very young person reference.
I do not have TikTok.
We advertise on TikTok. You should get TikTok.
Yeah, that's what you're for.
There's a very, very funny guy named Sketch. He plays like kind of a character. He does Twitch streams playing Madden, and I might have done better. What was the line that all this just said? It was
boy got motion.
Motion.
Right
Yeah. So
Carmelo Hayes was saying that.
His partner, Sketch's partner guy, was like, when was the first time you were like, man, I got motion, twin? And Sketch, who's like, the character he's playing kind of seems like he might be on the spectrum or whatever, but he's not actually. He just is Burf. Yeah, love it.
Well, actually,
I'll show you some sketches.
I appreciate that. No, I don't have TikTok. I downloaded TikTok for literally 6 minutes. I think it was.
There's some good stand-up stuff on there.
It doesn't turn off. That's my problem. Like I like it just auto scrolls to the next
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I'm like,
it's built to addict you.
I'm gonna get nothing done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have a lot on my plate as it is. So then Lashley walks in, predictably, because there's a unfactioned up black man on the roster.
I just saw a door open.
Lashley walks in, Lashley opened the door. Congratulates Carmelo Hayes on being drafted to SmackDown and on an impressive match against Cody last week. Says if there's anything you can do for Cody, Carmelo Hayes, just give him a call. Let him know. Carmelo says he'll be good, but he appreciates it. Lashley says it's not about the shots you shoot. It's about making those shots count. And last week, you lost.
Did you see the huge upgrade, the injury-based upgrade that occurred specifically for you?
Injury-based upgrade.
For King of the Ring?
Oh, yes.
Lashley's not, so they replaced him with Angelo Dawkins.
Yes.
I was like, oh,
yes.
Somebody I don't care about at all with an awesome guy.
Yes.
Like,
There's a big smile on my face. Subscribe to the Patreon to see my smile. Carmelo Hayes says, when's the last time you shot your shot, Bobby? And then he goes to walk off. Lashley stops him, and Lashley says, here's a piece of advice you can have for free. Be careful who you disrespect around here. And then Carmelo Hayes walks off. So Carmelo Hayes is
the whole thing is kind of disrespecting everybody, right? It's like,
what's that?
Wrestling.
Yes, you're fighting.
You disrespect everybody.
Yes.
You're trying to beat them to unconsciousness, like basically. So.
I mean, the concept of competition is disrespectful by nature.
To some degree, yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't believe that you're better than me. Well, you'll have a contest to decide otherwise.
I mean, he is better than Bobby Lashley in every way.
They will have an academic decathlon. Bobby Lashley chooses business ethics. New Catch Republic versus AOP. This went 9 minutes and 55 seconds. New Catch Republic got a huge pop, and I cannot wait until they're AEW Tag Team Champions.
Good. Yeah, me too. Good match, though. I love AOP still.
Yeah. The Final Testament, dude, I felt bad for these guys. Like, they got nothing from the crowd. For a crowd that cheered everything, they got...
I spent the entire time watching this, like, basically tacking on to what you and I were talking about with Karen. Go back to Killer Cross, better name. To scale back your moveset to very few things, but make them high impact that are not that difficult to do. A power bomb, choke slam, whatever. Do like a side slam, something like that.
Yeah.
Big boots. Find one thing that looks good and impactful, and then just do all the other stuff. and you'll be over as hell.
Yeah.
That's all they got to do with that guy. But they still haven't.
He has charisma out the fucking ears.
Yeah, he does. He's got everything except he can't really wrestle.
Yeah.
But he's not that. I like you exaggerated that. He's not that bad a wrestler.
No.
It's that he just tries to wrestle in a way that he's not capable of.
Right.
He's definitely good enough to wrestle in like a big man way.
Yeah.
So just do that, and then people won't like shit on you for that part of it, and you can do everything else. He's a good actor. He's like got charisma. He can talk. He can talk at length. Like he does monologues, and he doesn't mess up at all.
Right.
He's intimidating.
Yes.
Like, just don't do Will Ospreay's moves.
No.
Like, you just can't. Most people can't. It's fine.
That's why
like, just scale it back.
we have Ricochet. We don't need to do all that.
But I Killer Cross though. I do like that better than Karrion Kross.
Yeah. I mean, this group looks cool. They look like in a 80s like Mad Max type movie where you're like trying to find shelter and you stumble upon these guys in a town, and they all like play a role.
And
They're
in theory, it works too because
distinctive.
authors of pain are like awesome, scary in-ring guys.
They're the big heavies, yeah.
That need a mouthpiece, and Karrion Kross can do that.
Yeah.
The Paul Ellering part, I don't.
Carries the Bible.
Not sure
Totally
what that is.
carries that book.
I don't like again. I think he's an android or something because he looks the same as he did in 1986. So, but yeah, Karrion Kross should be the talker.
Yeah.
And I mean, they haven't really booked him to do much. So if you give them a couple of good stories, I think they could get pretty over.
I hope so, because something about him, man. I also wrote Tyler Bate looks like a toddler with long hair.
He does.
Corey Graves calls him the big strong boy. Is that his nickname?
I hope it is. Who is that guy? Tyler Bate is making me think of that dude. The British guy, was NXT and NXT UK. I think he might have been an NXT UK champ for a while. Super light, like pale skin and a mustache.
Oh, Jack
something.
Yeah.
And then he like quit.
He had the umbrella.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then after he left WWE, he like went on to become a bare knuckle boxer for like 2 years.
He had a giant pirate ship tattoo on his chest.
Yeah. Jack O something.
Jack Gallagher?
Jack Gallagher. They called him Gallagher, but yeah. Jack Gallagher. Thank you. That Tyler Bate reminds me of him. Kind of. Tyler Bate's a better wrestler, though.
Tyler Bate's a better wrestler. And he did not smash watermelons on the way to the ring.
Yeah, or do a bunch of like really awful.
I saw him do stand-up at Bourbon Street right before he died. Gallagher.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Gallagher. Like Gallagher.
Not Jack Gallagher.
Yeah, I was like, did Jack Gallagher? All I know is that he like beat up a bunch of women and went to prison.
Oh, there you go.
Did you saw real Gallagher? Because his brother continued.
No,
doing
it wasn't Gallagher.
I think
too.
with his blessing, right?
No, that was ugly.
Oh, I thought that was like a handoff thing.
No, I think
How was he? Was he good?
No, no. He became a little right wingy in his time.
Oh yeah, I love
which is fine. You believe what you're going to believe in, but like
if you're in the entertainment industry, usually it's not a great.
I also I don't mind right wing comedy, but like I was expecting to see him paint a flag with different foods from a region and then smash shit with paper plates, and he's just doing like straight up like, oh, this is
talking about trans bathrooms and shit.
It caught me.
Hit a watermelon, you dumbass.
So, it's like if I went to a WWE thing and there's why are they doing Great British Baking Show? Like this is a different form of entertainment that I wasn't expecting. But match was good. AOP they do a very cool thing where they do a Death Valley Driver just into the corner.
Yeah.
It's like an assisted, like...
What a crazy bunch of moves we got out of the WWE universe, these 3 shows.
Yeah. Oh, and then some.
That's a burning hammer at one point.
We'll get there.
Like Tetsu Kobashi's doing shit in WWE all of a sudden.
Akam picks up Tyler Bate with a 2-handed chokeslam, and he throws him up, and then Tyler Bate just super smooth drop kick on the way back down.
Yeah. These guys had a great chemistry.
Yeah.
AOP with smaller... I mean, we saw it with DIY a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Way back when. They always have good chemistry with like smaller dudes.
Yeah, those triple threats that they had with them in FTR. The finish saw Tyler Bate do a Topa Suicida onto Akam. He gets up and he runs toward Karrion Kross, and Karrion Kross does like an F5 throw, which, fine.
Yeah.
Pete Dunne runs to the ropes to do a dive, and he hesitates, and Karrion Kross sees him, and he yells, come on. Pete Dunne dives anyway, and it works somehow. I don't know why. Pete Dunne rolls back into the ring. He gets hit with an Uranagi, and then that sit-down powerbomb neckbreaker finish that AOP does for the finish looks great.
So I like all their like tag moves. They're in tandem moves.
The Super Collider's the best one.
It's great.
Powerbomb where they hit each...
the smush together and then powerbomb.
It's the coolest looking one. Next, we had the Bloodline, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton recap from last week. And then it goes to Nick Aldis backstage with Paul Heyman. And then they talked for a while. Paul Heyman says, "You get my memo?" Nick Aldis says, "I did. Request denied. You want me to pull Randy Orton and Kevin Owens out of the tag team match tomorrow night at Backlash? Why? Why would I do that?" Paul Heyman says, "I don't know. For the sake of Kevin Owens, for the sake of Randy Orton, for the sake of SmackDown. You know what? I've tried, and I've tried, and I've tried with you. Leave him in the damn match as far as I'm concerned. Okay, what happens to Randy Orton and Kevin Owens tomorrow night is no longer on my conscience, Mr. Aldis."
I kind of feel like he really wants to protect them. Like, I think he doesn't trust the Bloodline at all at this point.
That is a obvious thing there. What happens to Randy Orton and Kevin Owens tomorrow night is on your conscience. Good night. Heyman walks off. Nick Aldis says, "Is that by the orders of the tribal chief?" And Heyman walks back into frame and he goes, "That's not funny." That's not funny. Nick Aldis says, "Well, all communication to the Bloodline and Roman Reigns must go through Paul Heyman. Are you in charge?" Heyman goes, "There's a difference between being in charge and being in control. I haven't even spoken to Roman Reigns since WrestleMania." And then his eyes widen like, "Oh, shit, I shouldn't have said that." Nick Aldis says, "I'm sorry, what did you just say? You haven't spoken to Roman Reigns since WrestleMania? So when Roman Reigns pulled himself out of the WWE draft..."
Roman.
Heyman says, "Roman Reigns did not pull himself out of the WWE draft. I pulled Roman Reigns out of the WWE draft. You have to understand what's going on here. I had no choice. I cannot subject Roman Reigns to the chaos that's going on within the Bloodline right now. And you can't subject Kevin Owens and Randy Orton to what awaits them at the hands of the Bloodline tomorrow night." Nick Aldis says, "Well, you know what, Paul? If you can take it on yourself to pull Roman Reigns out of the draft, why don't you try pulling Randy and Kevin out of the match at Backlash? You can try right now on the RKO show. It's up next."
It's going to be interesting seeing Paul Heyman as a babyface manager when Roman comes back.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he could do anything. He's one of the top 2 or 3 best talkers in wrestling history.
I think he should, when Roman Reigns comes back, be holding an Emmy Award.
Yeah.
Because Jesus Christ, is he good?
He's incredible.
Like, he's a good character.
He's absolutely a good character.
Actor.
I love Paul Heyman.
RKO. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say the only thing I ever in his whole career that I haven't liked was that he didn't pay out his wrestlers in ECW on time. But that was just because he was a bad businessman.
And they now all sing his praises.
They all love him still.
Yeah. Well,
he's the best wrestling mind. Yeah.
As someone else says on another show, everyone has to sacrifice.
Yeah. We got the fucking tribal chief. Roman Reigns sucked ass forever until Paul Heyman was like, "Can I have a try?"
Yeah.
And then he became the best thing in wrestling for like 4 years.
It was pretty great. In ring, we have the RKO show. As we mentioned, the crowd was singing every goddamn word of Randy Orton's song, which fucked the mixing up because you could tell usually they'll pipe in fake noise and then between the live mic and the crowd. It was a little.
You're messing up our bullshit here by being a great crowd.
A little wonky for a second. Kevin Owens comes out speaking French, which is always a crowd pleaser.
I wonder if people are because I've heard that the French are a little snooty about, again, who knows, this might be bullshit that we learn just because we live in America. But I've heard that the French will get a little weird about French Canadians speaking French because I guess the dialect is so different that they kind of it sounds like Eddie Kingston would sound to us, basically. It sounds real blue collar-y.
Yeah. When I went to France, I was in Paris and I was trying to order ice cream, and I don't speak French. So I get up there and the lady's speaking French to me. She goes, da, 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 da. And I go, and she goes, "English?" And I go, "Please." She goes, "What would you like?"
They speak English everywhere these days.
But my entire experience in France is I got zero snooty vibes out of anybody we ran into in the entire fucking.
So it's just bullshit that American media has told us for a million years.
Dude, that's everything. Where you're like, "Oh, these people are like this over there." It's like, when have you been there? Have you talked to anyone there? Because, I don't know, I travel every weekend in multiple states, and I don't see what I see on TV.
Same. Every time I travel anywhere, I'm like, oh, everybody's the same.
Yeah.
And it's nothing like I've been told.
No. No. So so I don't know about French Canadians. That might be a very specific thing that got under the radar a little bit, but I don't know.
Sorry, Kevin Owens was doing his French talk.
No, I was trying to remember. What is it? Demaison two? What, count to two? Do? Simplement do?
Simplement du.
Yeah, Kevin Owens just starts talking French in the crowd. Kevin Owens and said Paul Heyman repeatedly called him to be a guest on the RKO show, so they're having him, and Heyman comes out. Heyman gives himself a hell of an English-French hybrid intro. The crowd is going fucking crazy for this guy. He asks if he can come in the ring. Kevin Owens says to Randy Orton, Randy, if you say he can come in, you can't just RKO him right away. And Randy's like, not right away. I'm more of an out of nowhere.
That's my favorite Randy Orton thing he said, maybe ever.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm more of a I don't know where kind of guy.
Which played into tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? So like we know he does that, but like once he did it, you're like, son of a bitch, he called this last night. Paul Heyman says, ladies and gentlemen, there will be no RKOing this evening.
I liked, as soon as he came out, the crowd just did, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul. They all did the thing, like his whole thing.
Yeah. Great crowd. There will be no RKOing this evening. Randy Orton says, I beg to differ. Kevin Owens says, Paul, I've never met a man who talks so much yet says so little. So please, what do you want? Paul Heyman says, I understand why you would doubt a man who has very little conscience whatsoever. Crowd chants, we want Roman.
They're so perfect to fit the story too. Yeah. They did the we want Roman, and Heyman, being Heyman, thinking on his feet, was like,
he said,
trust me.
He said, more than you'll ever know. I want Roman too. I came out here for a very simple reason. I have great respect for you, Randy Orton, and you, Kevin Owens. When you stepped into the ring with Roman Reigns, it was competition. There was a title on the line, and I understood, just like you understood, that whatever Roman Reigns had to do to defend his title is what Roman Reigns was going to do. But the rules with Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga are a whole lot different. Do yourselves, do SmackDown, do WWE, do these people, do your families a favor and back out of this match now, please. Randy Orton goes, absolute biggest piece of trash in this industry trying to tell my partner and I whether or not to take a match. Kevin Owens says, Paul, I don't think you're in any position to give anybody advice considering how everything around you is falling apart. Randy goes, that begs the question, Paul, who exactly is the real tribal chief? And the crowd's going, whoo. Paul says, you put me in a bad position. I think the whole world knows there's only one tribal chief, and he gets cut off because Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga attack Orton and Owens from behind. The four fight in the ring and then out of the ring.
The crowd's English is so good that they are like catching stuff on the fly in English and then responding in English too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Americans are so dumb. We all only know one stupid language. Everybody else knows their language and then also English.
Right. There's a new Taco Bell Cantina menu. Anyway, backstage. Yay, America. The Street Profits are backstage just hyping their title match. I started writing it down, and then I'm like, they
didn't say anything, but I enjoyed watching them say it.
Yeah, because the greatest wrestler on planet Earth was on the screen. LA Knight versus Angel.
Yeah. Did he get plugs? LA Knight's hairline seems to have moved forward.
Why do you got plugs?
It'd be a quick healing time. I mean, I know they're really good these days, but he kind of had the Rock pineapple hair like 3 weeks ago. Yeah. And on this show, it was like regular. Like,
maybe he got maybe he got a merkin. Just put it on his head.
Put some pubes on his
This only went 6 minutes, 18 seconds. LA Knight got the biggest pop of the night so far. Yeah. Jesus Christ, is he over? Like, I don't like watching him wrestle.
No, I don't understand it at all, except that I like to say, yeah. But no, they love him. I love him everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Match was there. BFT for the W. After the match, LA Knight cuts promo. Let me talk to you. Yeah. All around the world, it's the same song. Another SmackDown, another dummy dropped on his head. 3 the hard way. Now, if I wanted to be cliche, I could say this is my ring, right? I ain't going to do that. Instead of me saying this is my ring, no. I'm going to make this my ring.
That's such a Stone. He's doing the Stone Cold thing.
Of course he's
And he does the Rock thing later, too. It stands out more and more the more I watch him. Like, you're just doing both of those guys.
It's like when I talk here, I'm just doing basically whatever Opie and Anthony episode I was recently
You're watching. Like inspired by. Like he's just doing the Rock and Stone Cold from 1997.
What do I mean by that? I am now officially entered in the King of the Ring. Santos Escobar interrupts. It's impressive. You just keep talking and talking and talking. You keep running your mouth on and on. Because the King of the Ring, while you're busy running your mouth, I'll be busy winning.
Okay. I don't care about this, but I'm glad at least that it's like a Latino guy's like feuding with a
not
different
Latino
race
guy?
person. Yeah.
LA Knight said, you said maybe I talk too much. Should I keep talking, Leon? They go nuts. That's about what I thought.
I'd be
Because
like, no, LA Knights.
no, we are done. That is enough for you.
Bring out CM Punk or something.
That's about what I thought, because for you, when I stop talking, that's the time you get stomped out and you'll be laying there thinking to yourself, my God, what was I just doing? I know whose game this is. And before anyone here tells you, you'll think to yourself, and you'll hear the whole damn world with everybody saying, LA Knight. Yeah.
I do like that his one with everybody saying, like, it's just a good, stupid wrestling catchphrase. Everything else I can do without. Give Karrion Kross LA Knight's moveset. I bet he could do it better than LA Knight. And it's all easy stuff.
Yeah, just not the BFT or when he runs to the top rope and like half the
every
time
he
falls
does
off.
every time he does the run to the top rope, it's like a coin flip.
That was good. I get it. Like, he's not my cup of tea, but LA Knight is.
He's over.
He's massively over. So they recap Carlito being revealed as the attacker from last week. He attacked Dragon Lee. So backstage we're with Byron Saxton and Carlito, basically saying why. Carlito sucks as a promo because he goes, Carlito been away from the WWE for many, many years, and all I wanted was another WrestleMania moment with my family, the LWO. Another implies I was one.
Yeah, I feel like he was good when I watched him a million years ago.
He used to be a good promo.
Okay, it wasn't just me imagining it.
No,
He
that's what got him over.
Yeah,
his character.
He used to I thought he was like so good that it was more subtle than like. I remember thinking, oh man, he's actually doing some like deeper stuff where he's like saying one thing, but you can tell that he really means a different thing.
Yeah.
Like real acting kind of stuff. And now he just it's nonsense.
I could barely hear him.
It's
like
garbage.
he didn't even know how to project his voice.
Yeah.
He goes, so when Ray challenged Santos and Dominic to a match at WrestleMania, I figured he'd make the right choice and choose Carlito. Instead, he chose Dragon Lee, someone who's been in the group for, 5 minutes? That's not cool. So Carlito took matters into his own hands. It wasn't personal. Dragon Lee was just in the way, and the whole plan would have worked if it, and then Dragon Lee attacks him, and they do a pull apart. So these two are going to be feuding for a hot minute. Cool. That's not cool.
Yeah. I want Dragon Lee to feud with.
Can we give him Karrion Kross?
Oh, yeah, you know what? That'd be a nice way to shine up Karrion Kross a little bit. I bet Dragon Lee can do a lot for him in the ring. So, do that.
Yeah, good. Well, when we conclude the podcast, we put a pen to paper letter in the mail directed to WWE Creative. We have yet to hear a response.
They have taken some of our ideas, I will say.
I did make a note somewhere here, like so and so listens to the pod because they changed them. WWE Tag Team titles are up next. Street Profits versus A-Town Down Under, 7 minutes and 29 seconds. Street Profits went through the crowd like old times. How's Montez Ford not a fucking single star yet?
I don't know.
This guy.
I don't know why they just haven't pulled the trigger on him. Like, he was over.
Amazing.
He's incredible in the ring. He, excuse me. Yeah, he can do any. He's as natural at the like high spot stuff as Logan Paul is.
Yeah.
He's super charismatic.
Yeah.
He can talk. He's good looking. I don't know.
Both
those guys should be big single stars.
I agree.
If you wanted to keep them a tag team, they should be like a super dominant tag team.
Yeah.
But they could both be big time single stars.
They're both so fucking good.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Too. Like I don't know what they're shit get off the pot with this one.
I don't get it. Maybe like let them usurp Bobby Lashley as the leader of the group or something like that.
Yeah.
Something.
I don't care about that though. They've teased the breakup with them 4 different times too over the last 3 years.
Let's notch him up slightly. That's it. Notch him up slightly. Let him feud with Karrion Kross.
It's like every good wrestler put him with Karrion Kross to make Karrion Kross look like he can wrestle.
Montez Ford. All right, what was one spot? Oh, Montez Ford does a legit ass rock bottom to Austin Theory, and then Angelo Dawkins does a swanton, and they call it a rock bottom.
They Lion Salt on Raw this week too.
Oh, yeah.
I love it when they don't pretend. Montez Ford is also like 6'6" or something. Like he does all this shit, and I'm exaggerating there, but he's like a big, giant, tall guy who does all these. I will say, like in real life, like 6'3", probably
6'1".
No way.
Montez Ford 6'1".
Really?
Yep.
Doesn't he look super tall on TV?
Yeah. Well, how tall is Angelo Dawkins? Angelo Dawkins is 6'5". Wait.
How's it? Why did they not look ridiculous?
Bobby
then?
Lashley is 6'3". Bianca Belair is 5'7". But yeah, I get. Well, here if they're standing next to each other,
Is he way bigger? Yeah, that doesn't look like 6'1" to 6'5" though.
Yeah.
Somebody's lying.
The internet doesn't lie. It would be the first time there's ever been a fib on the internet. Then we would call it the Fibbernet. Boo. The finish line.
We should call it the Fibbernet.
Angelo Dawkins rolls up Austin Theory, and then Grayson Waller hits his flatliner on Angelo Dawkins for the W. So cool. They had to. I mean, they had to keep the titles on these guys.
They're fine, like doing everything but wrestling.
Yeah. In ring, we had AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes.
Very happy to see AJ back to his AJ body.
Yeah. His theme starts with "You don't want none." Why? Who cares? Why? We don't want none. Just get back to what we like.
Yeah.
Nobody's happy with that. This isn't even.
It doesn't have to. Like, that's a heel enough. That song could go either way anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he was a
heel.
He did
both. Yes, exactly.
When he came into the
You
company,
could just be a badass heel. You don't want none.
No.
Yeah.
Everyone's singing.
It's like Mark Henry. Somebody go get the ass kicked.
Yeah.
It's the same thing basically. He was a heel for most of the time he was doing that.
Somebody gonna get their lip split. Everyone knows the words Cody's song. No surprise. And then Cody asks what they want to talk about in French. He just says, "Hey Cody, I don't care what they want to talk about. You're in the ring with the phenomenal AJ Styles." And then, hang on, how does it go again?
He should have asked, "Hey,
and then they go,
hey AJ."
Or something like that. But
Cody
man,
should have said, "AJ, when we flew to France from America, what route did we take since the Earth is flat?"
Oh man, yeah. And then he goes, "It's almost like you're not focused, Cody. You're focused on all this and not what you should be focused on." I've never felt like they were trying to like bleed a stone more lately. Cody, if you're looking for my full focus, my full attention, AJ, you absolutely have it. From one Georgia boy to another, from one Dogs fan to another. Come on, my man. I broke into the business in the state of Georgia. Of course, I grew up watching you. AJ goes, "I don't need that crap. I don't need that I was your hero I looked up to. I may be older than you, but I'm still in my prime." Cody says, "AJ, who's saying otherwise?" AJ says, "You don't have to. We knew what you meant. We know here. Here's the problem with you, Cody. We were never on the same path. You had the path laid out for you because everyone wanted the son of the American dream, Dusty Rhodes, including WWE, and they welcomed you with
pretty. I know heels are like lie and say wrong stuff. That's so far from like Cody. Literally went and was an independent wrestler because they were not giving him an opportunity, and then he made his own company. Like that's a little too far.
He gets there.
Afield. Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah.
Just the stream of consciousness as he's saying it. I'm like, that's bad writing. don't say that.
It's an AJ Styles promo.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not a terrific promo. He says, "You loved it here, Cody, until things didn't work out, until things got a little rough and you couldn't handle it, if you know what I mean." And then he does the Stardust gesture with his palms facing outward.
Which I love Cody during the match.
Throws it right back at him. And then you left. You packed your bags and you left. Your decision. One I never got to make because I was kept out of the WWE for years. And when I finally got here, I wasn't welcome with open arms like you. I had to prove myself in WWE. No, you didn't. I had to make my way to the top, and I did it all by myself. Huge applause. He didn't have to prove shit. He came in with one of the biggest
giant pops. They screwed up the camera work, but absolutely.
We knew who the fuck he was forever.
He's AJ Styles.
Unlike you, who had Hall of Famers and legends watching your back at WrestleMania so you could finish your story. I liked that line a lot.
Yeah.
That was like, good job.
By the way, I'm such a Cody mark. I was a Stardust fan. I actually liked that. I was like, they gave him kind of shitty thing, but he made it work. Yeah. I really still believe that he kind of made it work. Yeah. He did a different thing than Goldust. And
I mean, he just showed up to work and parted his hair. Like, you did a nice job. That's great. A bunch of guys I beat. Oh, he goes, unlike you, I did it all by myself. Unlike you, who had a bunch of Hall of Famers and legends watching your back at WrestleMania so you could finish your story. That's great. A bunch of guys I've beaten before. I beat them all the same way I'm going to beat you tomorrow night at Backlash. You see, I'm going to find my way to the top again and remind you and everyone else that I am phenomenal. Or whatever it is. Cody Rhodes says, "Who are you trying to convince?" "Certainly not me. I said last week you were a future first ballot Hall of Famer. I also said you were the modern day excellence of execution." He's got to cut that shit out too.
Yeah.
Your reputation.
It's not the right kind of wrestler to say that too. No.
Bret Hart was a technical wrestler.
He's Deeb. Deeb is the closest thing.
That's better. I said last week you were a future first ballot Hall of Famer. I also said you were the modern. I already said that. Your reputation is unmatched, but do not disparage my accomplishments in an effort to build yourself up. Every sacrifice I made, every mistake I endured, and there are many to stand here as a WWE champion. And our very first title defense happens to be our very first match.
He ended racism. I mean, that was nice.
With Anthony Ogogo. Boo. Commentary called it a dream match, but you are and forever will be phenomenal. And then the crowd sings, Eli, or whatever.
You know when Cody's last clean pinfall loss was?
Was it in WWE? No. Did Anthony Ogogo?
Ladder match, Sammy Guevara.
Oh, when they did the unification?
On the way out, yeah.
Cody's got to start humbling himself.
There was a list, a super shocking list I saw today of all of the top stars, like even kind of mid top to top, and when the last time they lost fully clean, pinned, and like every one of them was like 2022. Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, you got to keep your tippy top strong, I guess. But tomorrow I'm not looking at you as phenomenal. I'm looking at you as my first, and that's too sweet. And then AJ smiles, offers the too sweet sign. Cody goes to reciprocate, and AJ slaps the shit out of his face. He slapped his face. And then we see a backstage brawl with the Bloodline and then RKO to end the show. That was SmackDown.
Yeah, it turned out that the Cody AJ build was not great. And what we found out was if you have a molten hot crowd and two super great in-ring wrestlers, doesn't matter.
No, like, you can still have a
motivated, awesome wrestlers. I swear to God, this week of WWE television was booked for me, for AEW fans. I mean, it was just like, it's nonsense. Doesn't matter because the crowd's going to go nuts and it's going to be great match. The guys are going to like leave it all on the line, and then we're going to do like fucking brainbusters through chairs and shit. Yeah.
Whenever something like that lines up for me, I always check my blood pressure. I'm like, am I on the way out? It's like the universe rewarding me before I pass through the pearly gates. May 4th. WWE Backlash, same building, Lyon, France. It showed...
Hottest crowd ever?
They showed photos of people's Apple Watches from SmackDown that there were decibel level alerts.
There was a bunch of alerts going around.
Peaking smartwatches because it was so loud.
Like, watch, be careful, you need ear protection because
and that was
you're going to damage yourself. Which sounded like dog shit compared to...
Backlash. Was... Oh my God.
I've never seen Kevin Owens like break character the way that he did when he first came out because he opened the show, I think, right?
He certainly did.
And the crowd went so goddamn apeshit. I mean, this is my favorite WWE wrestler by far. So I'm like, yeah, it is a good nuts for him. But I'm like, I've never seen anybody go nuts like that for Kevin Owens. Like, and he was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, it was awesome. It was awesome. Like Randy Orton, it's been more in the business for a million years, was like, what the fuck is going on here?
They got a lot of that. Like, good for them. Because for as hard as they work. Yeah. And they're around us. It's like making me like dislike my own people. It's like, I know, lazy fucking Americans.
Hate, I hate all WWE American fans and like 2/3 of AEW American fans. I'm like, go participate. You're buying a ticket to a wrestling show. Participate. It's part of the thing.
You ever been to a dead crowd wrestling show?
A couple times.
It's not fun.
No, I like. 20 teens Raw with Nick a couple times. Yeah. Where like I watched Kevin Owens wrestle a phenomenal match to absolute silence. Like it sucked so bad. I got so pissed at everybody.
However, this is making me like 100% real. Next time they do one of these, I kind of want to go.
I want to go like overseas.
Yeah.
Me too.
Like I'm really considering this fucking Germany show.
I probably couldn't pull that off. But like Puerto Rico. I know it's not overseas, but that would make it easier. So like a little bit cheaper. I would love to do that. I've been wanting to go see like a CMLL or a AAA in Mexico, but like Puerto Rico would be a lot easier because you don't have to do passport stuff or whatever.
Right.
I want to be a part of it. It's like I want to go see like a Dominican baseball game because I've seen them on TV and I'm like, that looks way better than we have here. Yeah. Like this, I would die to be. That crowd looked like they were having so much fun in Lyon, France.
So if it's a baseball thing and a soccer thing, like, what's missing here? Why can't we get into shit like they get into shit?
Because we're all crabby ass people that like want to hate each other all the time. They clearly are like, we're all going there to party together. So let's do a thing together. It's the individualistic culture in America compared to a collectivist culture, which is much more the case in most other countries. They get together to do the stuff, sing songs and all that kind of stuff.
Dude, I was overseas in Norway one time, and we were recording something, and the engineer's like, hey, by the way, today, like, noon, we're done. I go, why? He's like, you'll see. And like we finished at noon, and it was like the rapture happened, and everybody just vanished. There was nobody because Norway was playing Sweden in soccer or something like that. And they're like, you guys don't get it. And I'm like, no, we certainly don't.
When we were in Italy, we were in Rome, and there was a big like a World Cup, one of the Italian teams, or maybe it was a Premier League even, like big Italian teams playing, and everybody was like, you want to see something, go out into the street at this hour or whatever. And it was just like in the square of the town, and there was like 200,000 people all singing this song. That's, I guess, that was the song of the team
Seven
that was
Nation
playing.
Army,
like all singing it in unison. Just like in the middle of like what would be Times Square or whatever,
right? Because
there happened to be a match that day.
It's so appealing.
I want to go see that.
It's such an appealing notion. The opening of the show, they got "we" chants instantly, so that's like their yes.
We.
They're just showing shots around Lyon, France, and the place is like fucking crazy. Like, I was audibly like,
they went nuts for everything,
dude. I get real like. Good crowds do something to me where like I choke up.
Yeah, me too. I was like welling up for this. I was like, man,
that goosebump shit where I'm just like, this is fucking up.
They're having such a great time together.
It does something to me. I don't know what it was.
Well, because we are lifelong pro wrestling enthusiasts too. So to see a group of people come together and like enjoy it all at once, the way that we have for like all of the years. Yeah. And we don't get to see very often in America. Like Chicago, Philly, it's close, but like that's the closest to get. And like to see that, it's like a personification of the feelings that we've had about wrestling for all these years. Like,
that too. If I see a fucking big crowd of any kind,
sure, like a giant concert or whatever, all singing a song together. It's moving. It's always moving.
Yeah, like it's I don't know what it is, but it's so I was getting that watching literally. In the most basic terms, they're showing shots of shit in their own town, and they're losing their mind like they just said they're getting the Olympics. Yeah. Cody walks in, massive pop. AJ walking in, huge boo. Jade and Bianca walk in, huge pop. Damage Control walk in, huge boo. Damian Priest, loud, but like a mix, right? Jey Uso walks in.
It is appropriate that he got the only not great reaction.
Jey Uso gets just loud yeet chants. And then again, the spotlights go on, and the place goes fucking crazy. Yeah. And then forever and ever till the end of time, when the guy is about to start the pay-per-view, he's like, and now. It's just the greatest.
Yeah, it is.
It means the pay-per-view is about to start.
I think if we could put Ricochet's in-ring talent inside Jey Uso, he might be my favorite wrestler.
Yeah, we'll get to it. I broke a rule
I've still come around on his everything but the wrestling parts.
Yeah, I've broken a rule. Randy,
you watched?
I watched the match. I watched the Jey Uso match. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens versus Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. This went 19 minutes 25 seconds
of people screaming the entire goddamn time.
The entire time. Kevin Owens comes out, multiple massive pops, and they're chanting KO and Kevin louder than his music.
Yeah. Like he stops and they had to like restart his music because he was like soaking it in for so long, and they just didn't slow down.
Like you had so by the way, we didn't mention this for SmackDown. It was the same stage setup as it was for Backlash as it was for SmackDown. They had it like not centered, so when they came out, they walked straight and then they kind of veered to the left, kind of what they do at like the Royal Rumble sometimes.
Yeah. I like all these every time they do one of these like unconventional.
They should do that every show.
I think Puerto Rico did it too. Like that, I like
just put the screen in a weird spot, and that's what they did here. Once they centered to the ring, so after they made that like slight left, and the cameraman showing them, there's a gigantic screen behind them that you like couldn't see in the first shot. It was just such smart stage layout.
Looks great.
It looks super special. Randy Orton comes out. Randy Orton's pop wasn't like they were happy. It was he was a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Like, oh my God, it's Randy. He was on the.
It had a different.
Books. He was advertised.
Yeah, and the crowd singing every fucking word and chanting, and they're like chanting along with the names being announced by the ring announcer.
And like you said, Randy Orton's seen it all. You don't get too many like earnest reactions from him of surprise. And he was like,
dude, when he did he got up a couple times and did his pose.
Yeah.
And they panned out to what the whole crowd did his pose with him.
Everybody did.
This is like okay, when you're fantasy booking something like in your shower,
yes,
like that's
the reaction that I'm telling you, I like this show better than WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like because of the crowd.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy like I mean,
it was a house show.
It was like there were
glorified house show.
There was a spot in this match that was like incredible, one of my favorite spots of the year.
Get there.
But like mostly, it was just a well worked show. And if it was anywhere in America, I would have been like, pretty good show.
Yeah.
But as it stands in Lyon, my favorite show of the year.
Absolutely.
At least for WWE.
For now. The Bloodline comes out and gets a near John Cena Money in the Bank 2011 level boo reaction. And then We Want Roman chants are louder than their music.
Yeah.
So the match was a brawl. The four face off. They go face to face. The bell hasn't rung yet, and they're fucking beating each other up. All four of them go outside. And again, the crowd's reaction to
really laying it in too, like this, just the raw parts.
Oh yeah, I'm
big.
Like I'll just say this now, so I don't have to say it later. They all beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
This was a super stiff little contest. Crowd reacted to every single thing they do. The refs and the agents are trying to pull them apart because the match hasn't technically started yet. Kevin Owens stuns two security guards, which further merits diminishes the merit of being a professional wrestling security guard. They just don't care about these people. Nick Aldis comes out and demands that everybody stops. And he says, you want to disregard the rules? You want to stun referees? You want to stun security? As they say in France, lâchez-vous. I think I'm saying that right, which means do whatever you want. And the crowd go, oh, fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Because
just do whatever you want. And I was like, oh, somebody's going to pull a knife out and stab another guy. Because
this match is now no disqualification, no count out. It's a street fight. Referee ring the damn bell. And the crowd, again,
it's hard to understand like that they go nuts for stuff because they are just in a constant state of going nuts. And then when something like that happens, they go more nuts.
Somehow more nuts. Like I can't even describe it, but their reactions did not historically suit the information they were reacting to.
But it really should. We're just like we as fans are desensitized to this amazing shit that these people do, like week to week. And wrestling's goddamn amazing.
Yeah,
and we should all react like this to all these crazy things. But we just. We're spoiled, and we get these shows a zillion times a year.
Yeah.
And
well, for as much as I don't think the Attitude Era held up, the crowd, I think,
it was the best,
massive part
of
the
part
success of it.
Was the crowd. Was us. We were there.
We were we were the Attitude Era. So Randy Orton and Solo Sikoa are fighting in the crowd. Owens and Tama Tonga, they're fighting by the Prime display. Kevin Owens knocks over the Prime display and whacks Tama Tonga in the face with like one of the shelves on there. And then they do like a split screen view so we could see where both of them are fighting. There's one point where Kevin Owens is running on his side of the screen, and you see him enter the screen of the other. It was like Super Mario World or something.
I thought a Portal. Like when you're going through on Portal, you could see your feet on the other.
It was fucking cool. Randy Orton goes looking for Tama Tonga ringside, but Kevin Owens is getting tag team. He can't find Tama Tonga because Tama Tonga is helping Solo Sikoa beat up Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens gets Tama Tonga over the guardrail. He does a frog splash off the guardrail. And then Randy Orton teases one, and then he steps down, and he gets a big shit-eating grin on his face, and there was an applause break from the crowd, like a glove clap.
Pay-per-view Kevin Owens, it might be the most underrated thing in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
That dude, like, he just puts it all on the line every time there's a pay-per-view.
Yeah, he's fun.
He's like Buck's pay-per-view. He's I guess they came up together. So like,
cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
As long as he never licks a shoe, I'm never gonna get that image out of my head. Randy Orton does 2 back suplexes onto both the French and English announce tables, which was pretty. And, Kevin Owens DDT Solo Sikoa onto the ring steps, just like I'm saying it in passing because there's a lot to get to.
There's like full DDT him onto steel.
Like it is nothing looks light.
No,
this
it looked
match.
like the Kenny Omega Will Ospreay one. Like that much impact the DDT onto the.
I can't think of that.
It was from the first match in Japan.
Oh, that's why I didn't see it. Randy Orton both of them get a trash can and a lid, and they just these shots look so fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus!
Oh, Neidhart on him.
The Neidhart alarm. And then they find a kendo stick, and they just start teeing off. They get another garbage can. There's ECW chants.
Yeah, I love that popped me harder than anything else. Like,
yeah,
the French are chanting ECW right now.
Owens gets behind the announce table and asking the cameraman if he's getting a good shot. Like he's just fucking having fun. He gets a table, places, and the place goes crazy when he gets a table. And then there's "We" chants, and then they do the Seven Nation Army chant.
Chant get another table too. I think
it's coming. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. At one point, Kevin Owens does an apron frog splash on Tama Tonga through the table.
Yeah.
Solo Sikoa does a Samoan drop. So they're in the ring. Solo Sikoa and Randy Orton. He does a Samoan drop on Randy Orton through a table in the ring.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens gets in the ring and he's just teeing off. He goes for a stunner. Solo reverses it into a clothesline. And there's massive boos. This turns the tide. Just slows down Team RKO for a while. And then they're mauling KO. And Tama Tonga lays his shit in, dude.
I'm telling you, like, I watched the man
I
in
want
Japan.
to know what you
and
saw.
It's not very good.
Because
Japan, everybody lays it in. And he just didn't that much.
Is that because every time he comes up, you have this, like, trauma response.
No, like I'm it's, at this point I'm like just it's pleasant. I'm pleasant surprised, and I'm not surprised anymore.
Yeah,
but he didn't wrestle like this, and
right.
and New Japan, like in New Japan, everybody wrestles like this because it's all like hard.
So it's muted when.
But for him,
but I see what you're saying. So
he's
picked
less
it up,
like when he came to America, which is weird, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
he looks great. I'm glad. It's a lot more fun for me to watch.
Yeah,
like he was boring in Japan, and he's great here.
He looks like a problem.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Really, goddamn.
Like I said,
problem.
it makes Solo look like a little bitch kind of to me. Like
there's actually concern about that with the new guy coming in.
Yeah, well, because both of them look like.
No, there's another new guy coming in. I forget his name. He's another Samoan. They're bringing a fucking fourth one in.
I'm thinking of over Samoan.
Coincidentally, though, there will be no Samoa Joe in the Samoa faction. There will be a Tamina, though. So Tama Tonga's
Yoko Ono of the Bloodline.
Tama Tonga, that would be like she'll be like the Jeff Goldblum computer virus in Independence Day. Like she'll destroy them from the inside.
Yeah.
Tama Tonga's mauling Kevin Owens, and it looks fucking awesome. And there's asshole chants from the crowd. Solo Sikoa hits Kevin Owens with a kendo stick. They start chanting Owens. They're chanting they're rallying the shit out of the faces, which is every time they get hit.
Yeah, they're doing what you're participating like you're supposed to.
After the hip attack to Kevin Owens, we want Roman chants. Tama Tonga beats the shit out of Kevin Owens with a trash can lid.
Yeah.
Like he's swinging it and not caring that there's a rim on it.
It was Owens does this sometimes, but it was clearly I want this to look good. Don't worry about hurting me.
Yeah.
Lay it in as hard as you can.
And he did.
I mean, he was going to return the favor.
Absolutely.
Times 1,000.
Tama Tonga gets a table, sets it up in the corner of the ring. Kevin Owens throws Tama Tonga out of the ring. Kevin Owens throws Solo Sikoa through the table in the ring. Huge pop. Tama Tonga clotheslines. And Kevin Owens, and then he gets a big boo chant. And then there's a bunch of Randy chants because Randy has been sleeping for a second.
Yeah.
Tama Tonga gets a chair. He's teasing, hitting Kevin Owens. And then you see the cameraman just kind of angled differently. And Randy Orton's kneeling behind him. And the crowd reacts like Hogan is about to slam Andre the Giant. They are losing their fucking mind.
Yeah, it's Macho and Miss Elizabeth coming back together after their retirement match.
It's unreal. And all he's doing is kneeling.
He's kneeling.
Tama Tonga turns around, they face off, and then Randy Orton does his 5 moves of doom. Clothesline, power slam, draping DDT, RKO. Solo Sikoa interrupts. Orton gets thrown out of the ring. Solo cleans off an announce table. There's a Solo sucks chant, I think. That's what I got out of it.
I wasn't even trying to decipher half of them.
No. Solo and Randy are on the announce table. He teases a Samoan spike, but it's turned into an RKO on the table, not through the table. Owens hits Tama Tonga with 4 chairs. And after he hits him with 1 chair shot, he sets up the chair. Chair shot sets up the chair.
In the ring.
So Orton and Solo Sikoa are outside the ring. They're out after that RKO. Tama Tonga's just getting lit the fuck up, which there ends up being 6 chair shots in total. And then he lays Tama Tonga onto 4 chairs. So the last chair got three shots, making it 6 all day. Kevin Owens is teasing a frog splash. Tama Tonga gets up to stop him. And then the spot that you probably lost your fucking mind
at. The only spot that, like, only big high spot this year that I would put ahead of this one is Darby going through the glass from 35 feet or whatever up. Because that's, like, he tried to kill himself. This was absolutely insane and pulled off flawlessly, too. Owens is like, you know, on the top turnbuckle facing towards the ring. Tonga is like facing him. Looks like Tonga is going to do a like turn around, do a superplex. And Owens, one of the coolest parts of the move is the way he locked in like the fisherman suplex hold. As soon as he did that, the crowd was like, "Oh shit, he's going to do it!" And they went nuts just from that. He did doing that, and then he proceeds to lift him up and goddamn brainbuster him through the chairs in the ring. I've never seen that before. No. It's unbelievable.
And when they showed it on replay, clean as a whistle.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was like perfect. And Kevin Owens is he's my boy for a reason, but like, Jesus Christ, that was incredible.
Yeah, it was.
I'm glad that the French got to have that payoff with the work that they were putting in for this show, because it's the best. It's the best spot of the year. Again, outside of like the one that should have killed the guy. So like,
yeah. Also from him, you expect that.
Yeah.
Darby.
Yes.
Where you're just like, okay.
I mean, Owens too is like,
but in an opener of a B pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You know, who know? Do you think they called shit differently relative to the crowd?
I think stuff changed. I don't know if like a spot like that could, because something that's that intricate and dangerous, I think you have to have. I think you have
a little bit of a heads up.
You need to have talked about it. You can't just do that to somebody. But I think like when they were beating the shit out of each other to start the match, I think all that stuff gets ramped up a ton, and then moves do change. Yeah. When you're that like, let's give them a little extra here. But like that kind of thing, I think that one specifically had to be planned, because like Tama Tonga would stab Kevin Owens if he just did that unprompted, like without a conversation, I think.
So that should have been the end of the match.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens goes for a 1, a 2, and the ref is pulled out by a debuting Tonga Loa.
Another Samoan.
Yeah, he's Tama Tonga's brother, who is the other tag team partner in Gorillas of Destiny. Paul Heyman's jaw just fucking dropped. Paul Heyman is already held hostage.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Now he's just like,
held hostage is exactly the right way to put that. Yeah.
And he's just the misery on this guy's face. So Tonga Loa picks up the steel steps and he hits Randy Orton with them.
Smashes him in the head with it's not a usual one of those stair shots. He did it like an old school chair shot or something.
He actually moved the steps. He didn't just like progress forward. Like you would in like Bad Dudes or something. And then Kevin Owens is leaning out of the ring under between the middle and the bottom rope, and he catches he gets hit with the ring steps as well, I believe. Solo Sikoa does a Uranagi through a chair on Kevin Owens and gets the Samoan spike for the win. They get in the ring, the Bloodline does, and the three of them do the Bloodline point, and Heyman is checking on Kevin Owens, and Solo and Tonga pressure, or one of the Tongas.
not the MFT. The other one, I think.
They're just pressuring Heyman into doing the finger as well. So, not only was this, I mean, fuck.
I like the story stuff.
I was trying to think, is this best match on the pay-per-view? But I don't think so. For as good as this was,
dude, the main event
is fucking. It's an all-timer.
It's incredible.
It's an all-timer.
I give the main event 5 stars.
Yeah. It had no business being as good as
this was pretty goddamn close.
But
too,
that's the high praise.
That spot alone is like almost worth a 5-star match just because of that spot.
And this is like, if you're going to brawl into the crowd, if you're going to use weapons, like this is how you not only build a match correctly, this is how you pay off a match with this much heat.
Well, it's people that hate each other and really want to hurt each
Yes.
other. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Owens always delivers with that kind of stuff, but like all of them did here.
The consistency throughout, though.
Yeah. It helps when the entire crowd is doing what they're doing.
Yes.
Yes.
Credit where credit's due.
Adrenaline stays high when everybody's doing that.
Yeah. Can you imagine if this was in a like half roped off place? They've had
like,
that much intensity.
I'm put even in full like place in LA. I'd be like, oh, this pay-per-view is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, as it stands, I'm like, oh my God.
I had the greatest time. So plenty of shit coming out of this, and it does.
And I like the story stuff too. Like I didn't need it because the match was so awesome, but I liked the advancement of the Heyman stuff, and I'm very excited for whenever Roman does return.
Absolutely.
It's great.
Next, we had the WWE Women's Championship match, which was Bayley versus Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton. This one 13 minutes 10 seconds. Tiffany Stratton gets huge pop. The crowd, Naomi's Tron spells out Naomi. They're spelling along with her, and they're chanting something monosyllabic. I thought it was like go or something like that, but I think they were saying a French word.
They do it. They say a lot. They do a lot of like obvious stuff. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter because it's awesome. But like you said, like when they're spelling a name out, they'll say all of those. Or when the announcer's announcing somebody, they'll also announce it along with the announcer.
Begs the question: why don't we fucking do that?
Because like we suck.
But like this should be the template. Like when you buy a ticket to a wrestling show, you should get a free download of this pay-per-view and be like, hey, you have to show up like this.
Because like, I need American audiences to understand that if you do that, it also makes it way more fun for you. And like you get it occasionally on a really good AEW pay-per-view. But even like that, as great as Dynasty was.
Yeah.
The crowd wasn't, it was super hot the whole time, but it wasn't nonstop hot like this.
No.
It wasn't going nuts for everything.
No.
Like this.
Well, nothing in history.
Like,
this is, I think, best crowd in the history.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too.
But yeah, they're spelling it out. Also, too, ton of cell phone lights on.
Yeah.
I missed that. It looked amazing.
Remember how awesome it was, the flashbulb era of like, that was the other favorite thing about the Attitude Era was the flashbulbs every time there was a big guy spot. And yeah, like the lights, that adds a ton.
It made that hype video that My Sacrifice by Creed made punch it up quite a bit. Bayley chants are very loud.
Huge.
And then when she goes
into Bayley, that too.
And the crowd's chanting along with Samantha Irvine.
Yeah.
Bayley gets a molten hot pop when she...
I like also that they now seem to permanently be doing the Samantha Irvine in the ring.
Yep.
Announcing like camera on her face while she's doing it.
Yes.
Because that was great at Mania and it seems like they're sticking to it.
Yeah.
So.
It also makes Samantha feel very special.
Yes, it does.
Like,
she's working her ass off.
Yeah,
she deserves it.
She's very good at her job. And then, as you had mentioned, hey, Bayley. She's singing along with them.
Yeah.
And, like,
she's visibly moved.
Yeah, she can't stop. She can't stop smiling.
Yeah.
And then the French people add another note at the end of that we don't do here in America.
Yeah.
I'm like, these fancy motherfuckers. And then Bayley stops it by just applauding. And which is smart. Like, is that would have went on forever? Yeah. And then there's Tippy time chants.
Plus, they're smart enough to realize, oh, she wants us. Cool. Okay, we'll do something different.
Yeah.
Americans would be like, what? What?
Not a what chant in the whole fucking show.
Yeah.
Also, I was happy to hear Naomi listens to our Booth Thunder pod because Homegirl looked fucking great in this match.
She did. She did.
Great.
It was the best match she's had since she come back.
This is my favorite match I think she's ever had.
Unless I'm misremembering, I have memories of her being very good in the ring, but prior to leaving. But this is for sure the best one she's had since.
I'm willing to go back and watch her because she converted me here. On this performance alone, everything she did looked awesome.
Well,
it was nice and fast.
You get motivated when the crowd is doing what they're doing.
Right. Yeah. Well, that fucking sucks if you need this level of enthusiasm to have a good match.
Maybe it'll propel her on to, realizing
right.
That's what I'm supposed to be doing all the time.
Yeah. During the match, it starts out with a series of arm drags, and Tiffany Stratton's just out. I wrote out athleticisming Naomi. There's a series of roll-ups, and this is when we get the crowd start to chanting, Simplum, Simplum, Simplement du. That's it.
Like a billion times.
Simplement du. And then Bailey smiles and she mouths, I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And she keeps going.
And they did it as loud as you could do it, nonstop for like several minutes.
Yeah. 7,000 times throughout the show. To the point where you're just like, oh, is this like hurting the show? And it was a little tiring there for a second, but like I want to go watch it again already.
Absolutely.
Tiffany Stratton does a fucking stomp. So Bailey does a sunset flip on Naomi, and Tiffany Stratton double stomps Naomi. It just looks so fucking good.
I want Tiffany Stratton and Bianca Belair to have a 60-minute Iron Woman match.
Yeah. Best of 7. 60,
that's
7 hours of wrestling.
There you get 2.
Tiffany Stratton's backspring handspring back
The
elbow.
only good one ever.
I was going to say it's the best one ever, right?
It's not just the best one. It's the only one good of all time. It's been crap until her.
Yeah.
Now it's great.
Yeah. As we mentioned, that cartwheel into the Alabama Slam. As where Naomi started to impress me. She does a spear under the middle rope to the outside. She does a blockbuster from the guardrail to the floor. She did the what's his name? The Mark Briscoe blockbuster. He does that same move. Oh, for real?
Yeah. Because I was like, hey, you're Mark Briscoe.
she's them boys.
She's the Suffolk County Chicken special partner.
Alabama. Oh yeah, Tiffany Stratton does 2 Alabama slams to each announce table. One gal gets each table. Tiffany Stratton, so there's a bit of storytelling here. She sets up a double, like she's going to do a prettiest moonsault ever on both of them, which she's done twice in the recent weeks. She's hit it successfully twice, both of them. But both of them move, and Tiffany Stratton lands on her feet. And then Naomi and Bailey give Tiffany Stratton a fucking 3D. And then Tiffany Stratton rolls out of the ring. The finish saw Naomi go for a roll up, but Bailey reverses it. But they called it the 1D.
Yeah.
Which
that's because the Usos. That's their thing.
I'm like, it's not.
It's a 3D.
It's the fucking 3D. Bubba's back in the company. Call it the 3D. Yeah. And Bailey just reverses the roll up and wins. Cool. Yeah. And then Naomi and Bailey hug and ball game. Mm-hmm. Really fun.
Yeah.
It was a sprint match for as long as it was, 13 minutes.
I thought I wasn't going to give shit about this match, and I thought it was
a ton of fun.
It was great.
It was a ton of fun. Absolutely. Backstage, we had Jey Uso. Crowd goes nuts.
Yeah.
Then the 3 Samoans in the bloodline.
Super into Jey Uso.
Oh, yeah. The 3 Samoans in the bloodline walk by. They go off screen. Then Heyman just shakes his head, and then he walks off. So, yeah, Heyman is definitely held hostage here. And then I was held hostage by a World Heavyweight Championship match of Damian Priest and Jey Uso because, as I mentioned, I did something different. I watched this match. I have a Jey Uso edict where
it was slightly better because of the location.
Minus the wrestling, there was a bunch of shit I liked in this. By the way, this went 15 minutes, 45 seconds.
Yeah. It was entertaining except for the actual match.
So Jey Uso enters through the crowd, and he's doing his pose, and the crowd cannot keep up with the breakneck speed of his pose.
I loved it, too. And he was like getting ready for me. He's like, you guys ready? And then still they were like, oh, no.
It's the hardest fucking thing to do ever. All the cell phone lights moving when he was doing it. It looked fucking so cool.
Yeah.
They're super into him, and he feels like a gigantic star.
He is a giant. Like I said it the last couple of weeks. I've totally come around at him. Like as soon as I was able to abandon my the belief about wrestling, pro wrestling, whatever. It's gotta be good rope to rope too. Like you just don't in WWE, and that's fine because you can be entertaining in a bunch of other ways, and he's super entertaining in every other way.
Right.
Like an elite level. When he talks, it's an elite level. Like the connection he has with the crowd is as good as anybody.
Absolutely.
It's like Will Ospreay connection with the crowd kind of thing. So I can get past, if he's not in AEW, I don't have to worry about like that in-ring stuff. He's just entertaining.
Yeah.
So
apparently who is not entertaining is his opponent, World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest, because he gets like an indifferent reaction.
He stinks. That's why.
You know what else he fucking does? Damian Priest, who is a member of a I don't know, how would you describe him? Like a gothy, like Blade nightclub kind of like faction.
Gothy, yeah.
He's wearing fucking Jordan 13s.
Yes, he is.
Will you not? Will you not? Come on, man. It's the first thing I notice. Blade doesn't wear J's.
Oh, Becky had some kick-ass kicks on Raw too. Just remind me of that.
She's always fashionable. I just come on.
I just don't like him.
Hang on, I'm not done with the Jays. They are super. They are super comfortable. But the rest of us are not trying to perceive that we are like vampirish.
Yeah. Get your shit at Hot Topic like you're supposed to.
Fucking stupid. I really like during the match when because I don't watch his matches, so this is all new to me. Where he does those single yeets, where he just picks his arm up and at once.
Yeah, that's great. And
he goes
the
all
crowd does it every time. Like
awesome. Did you feel like you could hear the ring mics better in this? Do you think they had to turn it up because it sounded different? It sounded super live.
Everything sounded different to me, but I didn't recognize like why or what. Like it was just the entire experience was so different than anything I'm used to that everything seems different. But I'll have to go back and like
just the sound of like think of what a ring sounds like when you're there. It's got a very specific sound.
It does.
During this match, I'm like, oh, they must have had to turn them. Maybe, or also too, I had like headphones in for this because I wanted to hear the crowd really well.
It sounded like the old WCW when it was like super loud, like
WCW rings and they like cracked more.
Yeah.
WWE rings have more of like a
boom, boom. Yeah, usually.
Yeah, there was more of that, but like it's
just louder,
more echoey, more bass.
I'm sure they had to make audio adjustments because of what the crowd was doing.
I think that's what it was. Bunch of stuff. It was a match. Like I wrote a ton of notes for it, but like I didn't love. It's fine.
It's Damian Priest.
Yeah,
him and not Otis can go live on an island somewhere together.
Who came out? JD McDonough came out at some point.
Yeah, Damian Priest got mad. You know what's going to be weird? When they clearly try to turn Damian Priest babyface when they break this up.
You think so?
I think they're leaning towards him being the more like I want to do it the right way kind of stuff because he keeps telling people don't help me or whatever. And I don't think people are going to cheer for him. I think they're going to cheer for the other guys. Like
I don't want to boo Finn Balor. I want Finn Balor to go on. They run.
I'm 100% going to cheer more for Finn Balor than I am for. I cheer more for Dominic. And even stupid JD McDonough, because McDonough could do some stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what Damian Priest does except like look tall and gothy and have a deep voice.
Yeah, pretty much. Balor comes out at some point too. I'm not reading all these notes. Sorry. If you want to watch the match and you're looking forward to me talking about it,
it's the only one that is like work. It's be fine if you skipped it.
Yeah. The finish saw. I will tell you about this. Jey Uso does a suicide dive onto JD McDonough. He spears Balor. This is all on the outside. And he goes back in the ring. He looks like he's about to go for another top rope maneuver on Damian Priest, but he gets racked. He falls on his no special place on the ropes.
It's nutted, as I like to say.
Nutted. And then Damian Priest gives him a top rope south of heaven for the W. After the match, Balor and JD attack Uso. Damian Priest pushes them off, and he gets them both in their faces. Speaking exactly to what you were just saying about him trying to be the good guy.
And it ain't gonna work. If any of you guys have not watched the show, I would say watch the whole show. This is the match you can skip, but do watch Jey Uso's entrance.
Yeah,
because that was awesome.
Also, storyline wise, this as long as you know what happened.
We just told you what happens.
No, but it plays into Raw.
Yeah.
So as long as you listen to this, you're fucking set up for Raw. So up next we have Philippe Chiro on the microphone. He lets the crowd know that this is the largest gate of any arena show in WWE history.
Every time they say that, I'm like, oh man, they just overcharged you people badly because there's only 11,000 people there.
The exchange rate must have been a motherfucker. And then we had the women's tag team title match next, which saw the Kabuki Warriors.
There's arenas that have 25,000 seats in them.
Yeah.
And they filled those before. Yeah. And this was more money.
Yeah,
11,000.
I mean, they're probably paying a stupid premium.
That's what I'm saying. It must be like $200 face value.
The merch they must have fucking moved in this company.
Oh yeah.
Outrageous. 17 minutes 25 seconds.
There were people like crying in the crowd
for the finish of this. Oh, just in general
throughout the show because they were like so happy that they got to see this live.
Dude, we're spoiled.
Yeah,
we don't get this shit. I like the most excited I've ever seen. Not ever, but yeah, maybe ever. Sporting wise is when they started doing the Winter Classic
Yeah.
for hockey, and like I saw adult men just like lose their minds.
It was pretty incredible.
Yeah. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I can't think like outside of like a World Series or like an NBA Finals.
Blackout
but, like,
game was like that. I went to a 1992 Bulls Knicks playoff game that was kind of like that.
Yeah. But those are like within the possibility of where we're from all the time.
Yes, exactly.
Like the Winter Classic, I say because that was like a brand new fucking
it was
thing.
a novelty.
And that's what they got here.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we never get this over here. So yeah, I guess show up all you
Just
can.
stop going to Saudi Arabia. Go to everywhere else on earth.
They're trying to get a mania.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't watch it.
It's too hot. Wrestlers pass out.
Too murdery. It's the the worst person in the world. Like runs the country.
Vince McMahon's there?
You know what? He probably is now. He's probably like hanging out with that guy.
The Kabuki Warriors come out. They get a big old boo. Bianca Belair.
I cheered him.
Huge pop. This is where I wrote the crowd is getting tired. And then later I will find the note where it says I'm wrong. The crowd's
no.
Jade Cargill gets a huge pop. Jade Cargill looks like she is carved out of a piece of marble.
Does. She is not a human
My
being.
God.
She's an action figure that they just blew up to regular human size.
This is what they think of this fucking division. No Samantha Irvine introduction for a title match. Ha. Fuck you. Tag title match. Fuck you, women.
It's gonna get better now. It has to with this much star power. Like those two are just too big of stars to not right. I mean,
I hope you're right.
I've said it a few times over the past 5 years, whatever. But like, this has to be the thing that makes this a thing now. Well, I think
either that or start introducing some mid card titles to women's divisions. Give them an IC title or something, man. Because there's just too bloated of a roster.
They could use a TBS title.
100%.
Yeah.
I wrote Bianca is the most believable threat in this entire division. The Bianca Asuka part of this was awesome. Like they, the just as a standalone mini wrestling. And also, if you had mentioned you mentioned Asuka's injured, so if this is her injured,
it's incredible.
She's one of the best ever as well.
I love her look right now. That like crazy ass look. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Bianca looks like she could go into a UFC ring and just beat everybody's ass right now with like no training.
Yeah.
Like she's the most believable fighter, maybe in wrestling.
Pair her with her husband and let them take over the goddamn company. Jade gets in the ring and she's ragdolling Kairi Sane. Yeah. This was a hell of a pairing because Kairi Sane's
It's perfect.
Spectacular worker.
Yep. And she's
like, tiny.
Sells and bumps her ass off.
Absolutely. Jade does two swinging backbreakers onto Kairi, which looked good.
Yeah.
Jade Cargill and Bianca did a cool spot where they both were about to hip toss Kairi Sane. They caught her. And then they just threw her up in the air, I
would say yeet if it wasn't for Jey Uso.
Like a not hold powerbomb of some kind. And then Kairi's doing all her fucking crazy shit. Top rope cross bodies to the outside. And then I wrote, never mind, they're not tired. Jade Cargill gets a hot tag. She does a springboard cross body.
I think that's a new one.
Yeah.
I think that's the first move that I've seen her do in WWE that I hadn't seen her do before.
It looked good.
Yeah.
Punches Kairi in the face, pump kicks Asuka, 3 stinger splashes, choke slams Kairi Sane. She's like, they gave her a moveset, man, and they're like...
All look good.
Yeah, it all looked good. Her selling...
That stuff was the pump kick, the choke slam. Like, she's done that before. Yeah. That always was pretty good.
Yeah.
But she's improving still. Yeah. She was always improving in AEW, and she's still improving.
Absolutely. Her selling's better.
Yeah.
It's getting there.
She still doesn't really get the... Again, it's just number of matches.
Yeah.
She doesn't get the acting part, like the facials and stuff. But that just comes with time.
Like, they're not going to stop pushing.
Yeah,
right?
no.
The finish of this match, I gave 2 exclamation points. It's the first time I've ever given something 2 exclamation points, mostly because it caught me by such a surprise.
The catch thing?
Catch.
She's done that one too before, and a couple of times, and every time I'm like, "How the fuck did you do that?"
She did it in AEW.
Yeah.
Well, the first time I've ever seen it, or first time I remember it,
it was only like once or twice though in AEW. It's definitely a special kind of thing.
So Kairi Sane jumps off the middle rope, and she's going for what looks like a Hurricane Rana.
Yeah.
Right. So she's got her legs around Jade Cargill. She flips upside down to complete the Hurricane Rana. Jade stops her, flips her back up into like that powerbomb position. Jade Cargill flips Kairi Sane 180 degrees, so they're like chicken fight style right now.
Drops her down.
Jade throws Kairi Sane up and like in front of her, catches her by the waist, picks her back up into the jaded, and then hits her with a jaded. Holy shit.
It's like a delayed German, but catching a person in that spot.
Yes. This looked like a create a finish in a fucking video.
The first time I saw her do that a couple of years ago was when I was like, oh, man, she's going to be one of the best wrestlers in the world, because I'd never seen anybody else even attempt something like that. It was very cool to see that they're going to carry that over.
Absolutely. Well, they carried everything else over about her.
And they added a move now, too. So, if they're going to use her the way that they did in this match, it will work with Bianca, because they just had her come in and do, like, the 5 super impressive looking things that she does.
Sure.
And that's fine.
And they won their new... I'm sorry. KOD from Bianca onto Asuka. I'm sorry. Bianca KOD'd Asuka onto Kairi Sane.
Kairi, who's down from the
Jaded.
Yeah.
And the W. New tag team champions.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Something new. They did a King of the Ring promo, which I was tickled to see. They highlighted Macho Man, Bret, and Owen Hart in the highlights. That's it. They're doing King of the Ring. Making King of the Ring feel like a big goddamn deal this year.
Yeah. I wish it was in Saudi Arabia, but
everybody's going to be so sweaty. And up next, we had low-key one of the best goddamn matches I'm ever going to see in my life. The undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles.
A match that going in, you listened to our show last week, I was like, it'll be a good match.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
Yeah.
And at the end, I'm like, that is maybe the best match either one of those guys ever had.
It went 27 minutes, 20 seconds. AJ comes out first. He's wearing black and purple, which I saw... quite a few people going, oh, he's honoring The Undertaker. I go, no, he's wearing the same color scheme he wore when he beat Dusty Rhodes for the NWA title in 2003.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. That's like a me pull.
Yeah. Well, I was like, why black and purple? When he does shit like that, it's on purpose, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, what is that about? And like, all the comments were like, it's The Undertaker. And then you would have the guys like, no, stupid, it was this. I'm like, oh, what is that?
Which makes much more sense.
Yeah. Which is cool.
Yeah.
Subtle little things. As he's coming down to the ring, they're the spitting facts here. AJ Styles was the first guy to win the WWE title outside of North America, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Manchester, England, in November 7th, 2017, off of Jinder.
Ending that nightmare period.
Is that when they took it off of Jinder because Brock didn't want to face him at Survivor Series?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. And we got Brock and AJ
And AJ instead, yeah.
Dude.
Slight step up.
Yeah, slightly. Cody comes out, everyone's singing his damn song. Samantha's back. And during the intros, during AJ's intro, the camera's bouncing.
Yeah, it was insane.
The stadium is vibrating so
shaking
hard.
so much that the camera was like... It was like, it looked like a disaster, like a news footage of a disaster or something. It was going nuts.
Remote. Phenomenal. La, 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 la. I can't remember how exactly it was, but they're singing to AJ.
I've never seen two dudes more clearly affected positively by the energy of a crowd to perform.
Yeah. They turned it up.
They just performed at their absolute peak the entire match.
Yeah.
And I don't think that happens if it wasn't for the crowd, which should have been tired by now.
And it somehow was the opposite. They somehow got hotter for this. And they also mentioned Jessica Carr becomes the first woman to referee a main event for a WWE championship ever.
That was surprising to me.
I wonder who blocked that fucking from ever happening again. I hope they air his trial on television.
Put Vince Jar. Put your money on Vince Jar.
I brought him up twice so far. I owe $7,000 to the Vince Jar.
I think I've only responded to you. I'm usually the guy.
By the way, if you didn't hear, the contribution to the Vince Jar, as every mentioned, is $3,500. We're going to put a new addition on the house.
Yeah, we're gonna donate it to a women's shelter for abused.
Yeah. They mentioned these two as two former Bullet Club leaders, which
awesome.
It's always nice
when they do that shit.
I just said it was a really, 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 really good match. Cody's not going to have a match as good with anyone else anytime soon.
Yeah, probably not. And and again, the move for move stuff, we know all the moves they do.
Yeah.
But they just did them more crisply, more intensely. Yes. They sold better for each other.
Absolutely.
They both looked like they were really going for it to the point where I was buying on different pinfall attempts that I never would have if this was in Manchester or Massachusetts or whatever. It was the crowd just elevated not just the viewing experience, but the performance of the two guys. Like so much. Cody, obviously, he's big dorky cheeseball. He loves all that stuff. And this like powered him like Earth's yellow sun, Superman. You know? He was like just feeding off of it.
Right.
And AJ hadn't had a match like in front of this hot a crowd in a long time.
Correct.
So for him too, it was like, oh yeah. All right, I'm gonna show these people what I can still do.
I mean, cemented his ass as a big goddamn deal. Still.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice.
Helped
shot
that he lost the 20 pounds of steroid muscle that he had on for the last month, but it was best I've seen him look forever.
I mean, he did a fucking lion salt.
Yeah.
And it's the best one in the business.
Yes, it is.
It's the best one in the over 38 division.
yeah.
After so the match is just awesome. Like, I didn't write a whole bunch of spots because, as you had mentioned, it's shit we would expect in both of their matches.
Shit, but it's a great match, just a great wrestling match.
Cody does because AJ mentioned Stardust on SmackDown, so Cody gets in his face and does the Stardust pose, and AJ mouths clearly motherfucker, and they got off.
He should have mouthed Sacre Bleu.
At one point after Cody does a disaster kick, the crowd starts singing La Marseillaise, which is the French national anthem.
Oh, okay.
And they react to nothing until the song ends, and then they just uproariously applaud for themselves.
I love this crowd. The disaster kick, by the way, was like it looked not like a disaster kick. It just looked like a real wicked kick to the head.
Yeah.
Like he was already rotated and he just kicked him in the head as hard as he could.
He doesn't. It's not the disaster kick used to have more of like a punt kick to it.
Yeah.
And like he just kind of turned into a springboard.
He
like,
has
drop
altered
kick
it a little bit. This one like was specifically like a Muay Thai kick to the head.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, look who he's working with. He knows he can take it. Cody does. So AJ hits Cody with a burning hammer.
This is when I was like, is this like All Japan in 1992? It's a goddamn burning hammer. Like Kenta Kobashi did that shit.
Well, it was certainly 1992 because Cody kicks out at 1 and does his best Hulk Hogan impression.
Well, my note was, I don't want to hear any more about my AEW guys no selling when they're just doing Fighting Spirit.
Yeah.
Because they do Fighting Spirit everywhere now.
Yeah.
Cody does it. It's cool. It's a cool thing to do. You get fired up, even though you just get hit with it like a terrible move because it's adrenaline.
Right.
It's not a no-sell. It's a different thing.
And just like AEW, we got a fight forever chant.
Yeah.
And phenomenal forearm attempt blocked with a super kick. Cody throws a Kimura on.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Brock. Mm-hmm. Hey, Brock. You're coming back? I think Brock's coming back.
Yeah, I think so too.
Top rope Cody cutter.
Remember when Brock broke up the calf crusher by smashing AJ's head off the mat a million times?
Yes.
That's one of my favorite counters.
It's one way out of it. Top rope Cody cutter looked super gnarly because it wasn't clean. Like he dragged him down. With
it was like not clean in the best way.
Yeah.
It was like sometimes they're brutal, like when he would do it to like Pac or somebody, and Pac, he would do the thing where he spikes himself.
Right.
This was different, but it looked just as brutal.
Yeah.
Like it looked like he was really.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
And then the finish was just the crossroads. I think
just one.
Just one crossroads.
Usually doesn't even try after just one.
We don't gotta spam finishers for them to fucking be effective. They did that in a Jey Uso match. A lot of repeated finishers. They're just like, this guy has no way to win ever because his shit doesn't work.
Because it looks soft.
Yeah. God damn it. God damn it.
Short,
God damn it.
Quick show. Great. To the point where I liked it better than a WrestleMania that I was praising more than any Mania I can remember.
Yeah.
So it was absolutely incredible.
Was good.
If you guys haven't watched it because you like me, were looking at it and like, backlash with a bunch of nothing matches that aren't going to really have stakes, go watch it because it's one of the best viewing experiences I've had this year watching wrestling.
It's nothing we've ever seen in our life.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not trying to because it seems like we're just kind of fluffing it at this point. But
no,
we're
it's
not.
I've never seen a crowd do this, and then I've never seen the roster react so much, so well to the crowd, just pumping them up.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's nuts, and I'm so happy that they're doing international shows for all these PLEs going forward.
Yeah,
because it's just better. And the pacing on this show too, just on that level, it was great. It was thing to thing to thing. No fats, no bullshit.
Right.
they just kept it going. It was like 220 or something.
Even doing the review right now, I was like, oh, title match.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, it just kind of came up on me.
Just a few matches, they all kicked ass. Like,
Yeah.
and, which is like the perfect number of matches for a crowd when you have a crowd that's going to be full throated 100% the whole
Tire
time.
them out, yeah.
You don't exhaust them. You just give them what they really want and like concisely, which actually led to one of my favorite Raws of the year too. Like,
it was good.
This one was the thing that, like I said, more specifically, I felt like they were booking Raw for me because it was like it was a tournament, and a bunch of matches, and good matches, most of them, two of them great matches, but a bunch of good matches.
Yeah, I can imagine what one of them was for you. Unfortunately, we're back in the States. We're at Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah, really could have used that
XL
Leon
Center.
crowd for this, all these awesome
so
performances they were putting on.
Can you imagine if the Dragunov match was in fucking Europe?
Yeah,
Wow.
I can.
Wow.
It
It was great here. It would have been
it
would have been match of the decade if
yes.
it was over there. So the show opens with a recapping Backlash, and again, because I watched on Hulu, apparently Chad Gable had a scuffle with Bronson Reed at some point.
Yeah.
Had no idea that happened. King of the Ring starts tonight.
Bronson Reed can go away, man.
Yeah, that's why I don't. Drew McIntyre is pulled from the King of the Ring. They announced at the top of the show because he's not medically cleared. And they kind of give us a little bit of pomp and circumstance. King of the Ring tournament started in 1985. First ever King of the Ring was Don Morocco. And that's all I wrote down. So we have the brackets for the men. We have half the brackets for the women.
Can I give you my first note on the top?
Please.
I actually went back and made it the first note after I watched the whole show.
Yes.
Holy shit! ! Put a bunch of wrestling matches on a show and make them all matter, and amazingly, it isn't boring.
It's amazing how that works, isn't it?
Yes.
And don't just throw shit together last minute.
Did you hear him talk? Multiple people talking this week about how Randy Orton specifically about it. He's like, you don't understand the difference. Like Triple H and Nick Khan and what's his face. They're booking stuff literally months in advance, and he's like when Vince was here.
Oh, crap.
That's a quote, so I think it's okay. He's like, everything changed on the fly. He's like, I don't mean sometimes. I mean every show. Yeah. Everything changed on the fly. Now everything, the reason that makes sense and it's cohesive is because they know what we're going to be doing in August now. Yeah. And it really does show quite a bit.
It helps. I mean, that's why the Bloodline was so successful because they let it breathe.
Vince could have never told that story. No. He would have given up on it 1,000 times and done a comedy match with Sami Zayn and killed it. Week 3.
They would have had to team up with Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania. Yeah. Do you want to do the tournament? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the men's bracket.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the full women's bracket, but we could
do our predictions.
Yeah.
For at least what we have.
You want to do it now or you want to do it after? After the review?
Because 3 of the matches happen.
Let's do it after.
On the show. Yeah. So, yeah.
It'll give the people a chance to stick around.
Got to give the people
what they want. So the show starts in ring. We have Judgment Day. We have Damian Priest, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Dominic Mysterio. Damian Priest is mentioning how he beat Jey Uso, feels the need to address what happened with Judgment Day at Backlash. Balor and JD apologize. Damian Priest accepts, but he wants to talk about what went down after the match. He says it's on him. He lost his cool. They're there to help support him, so he sincerely apologizes and says thank you. And this just felt, I don't care. Yeah. I just don't give a shit.
On top of it, again, coming off of the French crowd, I'm just like, this crowd fucking sucks. You guys suck. I hate you all. It was hard to get past those feelings. Yeah. Thankfully, there was enough good wrestling on the show that I was able to. But the early part of this show, I'm like, come on, do something. You paid for the tickets. Don't you want to have fun? But yeah, I don't care about that.
No. Damian Priest says he appreciates JD. That Finn Balor is his brother. They do a group hug, and then Dominic just kind of joins in because he hasn't been mentioned yet.
Make Karrion Kross Damian Priest's role.
Yeah,
because he could do the Damian Priest can't wrestle anyway. So Karrion Kross can do all the other cool stuff,
Yeah.
and he could actually be the leader. Of
How
that.
did Damian Priest get out of being in the LWO? For real?
I don't know.
He, like,
because he wasn't presented as Latino right away.
But he wrestled Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
In Puerto Rico, and that was an LWO heavy
That's
match.
true.
How the
Yeah,
fuck did he escape that black hole of a fucking feud? I mean, good for him. He figured something out.
Unfortunately, it led to him being on my TV way too much.
Yeah, and he says that while he's on your TV, he says Judgment Day is still the most dominant faction in the entire business. And that Finn Balor is going to be the next King of the Ring. Balor says, seeing as poor old Mr. Drew McIntyre is medically cleared tonight, I guess we get the first bye round of the King of the Ring tournament. That's the first step in the Prince becoming a king. And he asks Samantha to do something, but before she can, Adam Pearce comes out, says Balor's not getting a bye. He's facing Jey Uso instead. And I'm not sure why he's surprised. He's the only one in the ring wearing his fucking ring gear.
Yeah.
Maybe have the match. This is one wrestling trope I don't like. Have the match in 2 segments from now. It's just,
I hate it, and it happens all the time.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like I
why are you
see.
wearing your gear?
I have eyeballs. I can see. So and they have the match right now. King of the Ring qualifier.
That's why Pac has got it right. Just always wear your gear. He's only in his tidy whities like, at all times.
Yeah.
So you never know.
But his hair wasn't wet.
Yeah.
This week, when his hair's dry, we know
That's like him and Adam Cole. But it's the biggest hell.
Adam Cole.
You're gonna do some action. Your hair is wet.
I don't want to see his dry hair. Does he ever come out in dry hair? Some dry.
The whole
hair.
time he was hurt. He sucked because he had dry hair.
Yeah,
He's
you're
coming
right.
out. He was in a wheelchair, but worse than the wheelchair, dry hair. First time he had the wet hair, stood up and super kicked.
Yeah.
Like,
Didn't he have his hair up though too? Like he man bunned it.
like, for some of the time,
Yeah.
but like when he was reading out of the storybook, it was just
Oh,
dry hair.
No,
His wet hair so much better.
well, he's
for
next
Adam
to a
Cole.
fireplace reading out of a storybook. He can't keep your hair wet. We all know that fireplace dries out your hair really.
I think he has magic powers, and he could just always have wet hair.
Yeah.
Because like he never has that thing where even if he wrestles like a 40-minute match, where like Hangman Page, sometimes it starts to dry and gets a weird and poofy like late in the match.
Yeah.
Adam Cole's hair just stays wet the whole time.
When I had long hair, like I could never wear it down when I played because it would go in my mouth because it would just get dry and wispy and shit. It was terrible. So yeah, Finn Balor versus Jey Uso, King of the Ring match, 13 minutes, 35 seconds. I really like this pivot, especially because Jey Uso kind of got stuck in his ass a little last night because of interference, and like he turned the tables, which good storytelling, WWE. Michael calls at one point JD McDonough a human Funko Pop because of his large head. Yeah. Jey Uso's spear, he's spearing it. This doesn't fucking doesn't get the job done.
It was a bit like.
Oh, that's the only note I have.
Yeah.
That his spear didn't work because the only reason I even wrote that is because Drew McIntyre comes out.
Yeah.
And he immediately gets hit with CM Punk chants. He just stares like a crazy person. Jay gets distracted. And
Did you see McIntyre's Twitter?
No.
Thing? That's great. It's a great one. He's walking and talking, and it's like a 10-minute monologue. Mm-hmm. Perfect. And just railing into Punk and like why he like I know you're gonna say I only do this on social media, but he gives like a bunch of good valid reasons why it's worth a look.
I will take a peek. I'm sold. But Jay gets distracted by Drew McIntyre. Balor hits a sling blade shotgun dropkick attempt, but he gets hit with a second spear, and Jey Uso wins. He is advancing in the King of the Ring tournament. Dope.
Yeah.
Backstage, we have Adam. So this was the Goodfellas shot of the evening.
Yeah.
This is a long segment. We have Adam Pearce and Drew McIntyre. McIntyre says, Jey Uso, of all people, he watched CM Punk screw me out of the number one contenders match and took advantage of it, and you're going to reward him putting him in the King of the Ring in my spot. Adam Pearce says it's not about Jey Uso. It's not about Jey Uso. It's about your arm. Drew says, I don't care about my arm. I told you that. I'm going to tape it up like a real man, unlike CM Punk, and push forward. And Pearce goes, stop. Everybody thought you were fine until you told the world you weren't. So I have medical check an arm, and all of a sudden I'm the bad guy? No, your arm's not fine, and you're not medically clear to compete anymore. It's that simple. Good character work.
Yeah. And again, like a authority, just a regular boss, authority figure, asserting himself.
Yeah.
Like it, not being a jerk about it, not being evil, just no, that's my job.
He's actually being very responsible.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. McIntyre says, screw you, I'm sick of all this BS. And he gets into his Nissan Versa and drives off. I don't know what kind of car it was.
It was nicer than a Nissan Versa.
Of course it was.
Wasn't as nice as the car that pulled up, though.
Oh, Punk pulls up in a Camaro Z28. He pulls up in like a, I don't know, a car that was in like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like, the car's beautiful.
Kind of car that a guy drives that when he shows up to a bar, his dick's already been there for 5 minutes.
And this car pulls up moments after Drew McIntyre pulls away.
I'm really enjoying the ships passing in the night thing they have going here. I need it to come to a head relatively soon with some kind of
They're running out of shit to do.
Yeah. But it still works here, though.
There's evidence in Punk's promo.
Yeah.
But anyway, Punk gets out. Huge smile. Huge pop. Tosses Adam Pearce the keys, and Adam Pearce tells him he's late.
I like the ring tee with sleeveless. Obviously, that's my
back by popular demand.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to grab one of those. I think the ring with the sleeves.
I think he cut that off. I don't. Think,
I will cut them off.
Yeah.
I buy shirts and then cut the sleeves off.
The white shirts never.
Mostly because of Kevin Owens, but like,
it's
I'll
never
do
been
it for
favorable to me. I always get the pit stains on the white shirts.
With the sleeveless, usually when I do sleeveless, that's why I don't get the pit stains.
Oh, to be fair, I never wear sleeveless.
I'm almost I never knew I was going to be a sleeveless guy until I was like in my 40s, and I was like, I think I look better in these
sleeveless.
And I like them. Yeah. I also really enjoy like the juxtaposing some kind of like a shirt my daughter had me or whatever, but with the sleeveless look.
I like it.
Yeah,
it looks good.
It works for me. And Kevin Owens.
And CM Punk. It's a good. That's a Mount Rushmore right there. Sully, Punk, and Owens.
We can all talk.
You can all talk for a long time. One of you in French. But Pierce says Punk is late. Punk says it's been a week. It's been a weekend. And he's referencing that he got locked in Titan Towers for 48 hours.
Yeah, it was a little silly.
It was all over Instagram.
It was amusing, but I was like, all right.
It was fun to follow.
Yeah.
Like I was following it the whole time.
I was kind of too.
It was pretty cool. Got a nice little tour. Every time he came up to a bronze statue, somebody flicking the nuts, right? He's looking for Drew. And then Adam Pearce says he just missed him. Punk asks for a favor, and he asks for the truck to play his music. And this is, again, where the Scorsese shot starts, because we have no camera cuts for a while here. So Punk's walking toward the ring, and he sees Jackie Redmond, and he goes, hey, how about those maple leaves, Redmond? Assuming that Jackie Redmond is from Toronto. Punk walks by Chad Gable scolding all 3 members of the Alpha Academy, tells them to take it easy.
I read an amusing or interesting Punk fact today. I'm going to bring it up here just because you reminded me of it. When CM Punk first signed with WWE out of Ring of Honor, they tried to give him a write music for him and give him like a knockoff Cult of Personality, because he had been using that. He had been using it for like his last year in Ring of Honor. And he was like, I don't want any knockoff bullshit. Just give me something different, which was one of the wisest moves. He's just such a brilliant, wrestling mind. Yeah. So then they gave him this Fire Burns. And then
Randy Orton.
Eventually, it was made for Randy Orton, right?
Yeah.
That is.
It was, I don't think it was made, but it was his first. Randy Orton had a first.
I didn't realize he actually came out to it.
It was for a cup of coffee. He came out to
that. But then, eventually he got so over that he got to have the real version.
And he just revitalized Living Color's career, so everybody wins.
They re-released the song 3 times.
Yeah. The remake's not as good.
Yeah.
The guitar solo is not as good. So Punk walks to the ring. He cuts a 6-minute, 42-second promo. It's a little long. Too long for my liking. And
I enjoyed this one, though. I think I liked this better than last week. And last week got more praise. But this one, I don't know. It just felt like he was...
Well, let me read it back, because I wrote it was too long after I transcribed the whole fucking thing.
I didn't write it out, so it didn't feel that.
So he says, he gets in the ring. Is it good to be alive on a Monday night in Hartford, Connecticut, or what? My apologies for showing up a little late. I've had a weekend. I got locked inside headquarters in Stamford by the time I got out, which was just a few short hours ago. It dawned on me that we are in the XL Center, so I drove straight here to be with all you beautiful maniacs in Stamford, Connecticut, or Hartford, Connecticut. I also drove here to get into a fight with Drew McIntyre.
Oh, you're whites.
Yeah. Not French whites. I also drove here to get into a fight with Drew McIntyre, but apparently he has left the building. So, Pat McAfee. Last week, you recall I said, just to get under Drew's skin as he sat in the cheap seats, I said I can do my business in a shorter amount of time than he was World Heavyweight Champion. which is 5 minutes and 46 seconds, right?
Not that I'm trying to make that a thing or anything.
Literally. Not that I'm trying to make that a thing or anything.
Loved it.
But 5 minutes, 46 seconds since I came and since he left. This is not going to be a popular decision, but what if today we go overtime? What if I stay here long enough for Drew to come back because he's at a red light right now? He just left. He's not texting his wife. He's scrolling through Twitter. So please get your phones out. Take your pictures. Tweet at him right now that I am live and in living color right here. And if he's not a coward, and I know that's a big ask, if Drew McIntyre is not a coward, he will turn around and he will come back to this building. And in this ring, on top of the ice that Gordie Howe skated on for the Hartford Whalers, he can catch the beating that he deserves. This is better than I remember.
It was, it's better. I'm telling you, it's better than last week's was. Like,
yeah, I'm enjoying
this. This is really good. And I was worried when he said, I'm going to go overtime, like, oh, maybe this will go long. And then when it finished, I was like, that's not long enough. Keep going.
Yeah. I mean what I say, ladies and gentlemen. I will hold this show hostage. I would ask you guys what you want to talk about to kill some time, but that's somebody else's deal. So I'll ask you this. Can I tell you a story? Loved that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a recap, if you will. Back in January, inside the Royal Rumble, Drew McIntyre DDT'd me so hard that I posted my arm to prevent the brunt of the damage going to my neck, and I tore my tricep off the bone, and I was heartbroken. I thought Drew ruined my WrestleMania dreams, but I had a good cry about it. I had a great surgery. I picked myself back up, and I realized that Drew McIntyre didn't ruin anything. If anything, he postponed my WrestleMania dreams. Maybe delayed is a better word. Because in baseball, they call me a 5-tool player. I can do everything. I can do commentary, and that's what I did at WrestleMania. 5-tool player, Drew McIntyre. Oh, he goes, 5-tool player, Drew McIntyre, just a tool.
Just a tool.
And he checks his watch, and he says, and we're waiting. For weeks, it turned into months.
That reminded me of the Bill Burr Philadelphia thing, by the way. When he was
7 more minutes. For weeks it turned into months. I have to tune into this show that I was excited to be back on and listen to this guy run his mouth about how he prayed for me to be injured, and he's proud that I'm injured, that he prayed for this. He picked a fight. He picked a very personal fight with the pettiest man on the roster, maybe even on earth. I like that. And I said,
promo.
He's a terrific. This is way better than I thought. I remember being. And as I said last week, I was going to make his life a living hell. That's exactly what I plan on doing. But his bitching and complaining went from my injured CM Punk to CM Punk ruined my WrestleMania plans. CM Punk ruined my title aspirations. CM Punk broke my elbow. He's a hater. He hates the way I look. He hates the way I walk. He hates the way I talk. But when I tune in, all he does is talk about me. All he does is sit in the ring like me. All he does is try to speak like me. He tries to be me. And it dawned on me, Drew McIntyre, do you hate me or do you hate yourself? Because you're a choke artist. Not like I'm a choke artist, Pat. Two very different things. And Pat goes, guillotine, yeah. Which, again, as I said on the AEW show, it's like, whatever. This was kind of funny, but like, whatever. Punk checks his watch again. Drew McIntyre prayed for this.
2 more minutes.
Oh, I want to go back and listen to that now. He shits on him for what? Not loving not respecting him because they worship a statue of a fictional character.
That's my favorite bit of the whole thing is that you got one of the greatest fighters of all time from this goddamn city, but because you're so uncomfortable with the fact that he's black, you had to put up a statue of a fictional character instead.
Where are we at here? Almost. Drew McIntyre prayed for this. I am the unforgiving consequences to his actions. Drew, you prayed for this, and I broke your elbow, and if you show up now or the next time I see you, I'm going to break your face, and I'm going to break your heart, checks his watch. And all this praying you do, I don't know if you're a God-fearing man, but the fact you haven't showed up yet tells me that there's at least one thing you fear. One name, 3 syllables, CM Punk. I like this way better than I remember.
Yeah, no, like, and online too, I saw like a ton of praise for last week's promo, which I thought was only okay. It was like a repeat of a lot of the pipe bomb stuff, which is fun and everything. I thought this was just like a really good promo. Like it accomplished way more, and it was a bunch of new stuff that I haven't seen
He really
him do.
cut Drew down to size with this one.
Yeah, yeah,
nice.
And he kind of did the Hangman Page thing, like, come out here and fight me, even though I know you can't. So I thought it was like kind of a little callback in a good way.
Yeah.
I just thought this was a great promo.
Yeah.
This is my favorite program in wrestling. These two, and they haven't they're both. Is Drew actually hurt at all?
I heard he was. is?
Because I mean,
don't know.
it would make sense for them to just have it pretend be a kayfabe injury to coincide with Punk's, so they can continue to do this until they're ready to go.
Is Drew McIntyre actually hurt?
Who knows though? Like we've been talking
that's a
about,
good
both
point.
companies been keep doing a good job of keeping that shit
Working the dirt sheets and
under
shit.
wraps. Yeah.
So backstage we have Jackie Redmond with Ricochet, and she asks him, "What's your biggest challenge in facing Ilya Dragunov for the first time?" Because they are fighting each other for the first round of the King of the Ring.
You excited to have your best match in WWE ever?
Yeah.
In a few minutes.
Yeah. Ricochet said he's aware of Ilya Dragunov and what he's done in NXT, but this is the first step in defining his legacy. Shut up. Braun Strowman walks in and they do a bro hug.
Braun Strowman and his giant cowboy hat walk in.
Which it fits him. Jackie asks Braun Strowman.
It would also fit an elephant.
I see what you did there. Jackie asks why Braun Strowman interjected in the Judgment Day's business last week, and he says, "Because I have and always will be the one that stands up for the little guy. I can't stand bullies." Says it's not about him. It's about Ricochet going out to remind everyone why they call him King Ricochet. Cool.
Fine. Braun, were you the guy standing up for the little guy when you were in the Wyatt family? Murdering everyone?
Not even a little bit. He was murdering carbs back then.
Yes.
God, he looked like
yes, he was.
He looked like the big bad boss from Big Trouble in Little China.
500 pounds. Yeah.
We had a ladies' King of the Ring qualifying match. We had Io Sky versus Natalya. Went 10 minutes 20 seconds. I just wrote Io wins. No shit.
No, but this was our once every 2 year really good Natalya performance.
Well, look who she was
does
with.
it like once every year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
It reminds me, I forgot you could really wrestle.
Yeah.
And she was very good here.
Yeah.
Like almost every match on this card was very good.
Well,
and like this one included.
It's probably hangover from the pay-per-view.
It wasn't crazy. Like it wasn't awesome, but it was usually an Italian match. You're like, oh, and this was good. It was a good
Right.
one. I mean, yeah, Io's like Io, but still, Natalya did her part too.
Yeah. Ending was never in doubt.
No.
So Damage Control stays in the ring after. So it's Io Sky, Dakota Kai, and Kairi Sane because Asuka is it. Well, they're going to say that now. So Dakota Kai gets on the mic, and I think this is what you were asking about earlier.
Oh, yeah.
She says, 2 years ago, we took over Raw, and we took out Becky Lynch, and now we're back to put everyone on notice. Io just dominated her match tonight against... tonight for the Queen of the Ring tournament, and I will stand in for Asuka, who unfortunately is injured, to take on the Bird Lady Lyra.
This didn't sound scripted at all, by the
No.
way. Like
Bunch of what chants, and she goes, what? If you suck, say what? Right? It's just kind of horse shit that they have to combat this all the time.
they should kick you out of the goddamn arena if
It'd be
you
an empty
do
arena.
what chance.
It'd be an empty arena. But now that we're here, I'm going to give you a warning for free. Jade, Bianca, enjoy those tag titles while you still have them. And as for you, Becky, once you're done with your charity case, Liv Morgan, we will be back to take everything, whether you like it or not. Which begs the question, when has something ever been taken where somebody likes it? Because it's always likes it or not.
Nah, like if you're into S&M, femdom stuff, maybe.
Yeah, we got to
Take
go.
your manhood.
We got to go all the way there
I like it.
for enjoyment.
I mean, Rhea Ripley's probably got a few
Yeah,
things that
that's true.
she's taken from people that enjoyed it being taken from them.
It's a lot of big response for that one. I wasn't expecting that.
You ask a question, you get an answer, my man.
Ilya Dragunov hype promo package after this.
Great one.
It was really good.
Why the fuck didn't you do this before his first match on Raw? Like, this was like, goddamn, yeah, that's awesome.
They only had time
I know
for-
everything about you now.
They only had time for the business lady one, whose name I already forget.
He's like, this is you can't hurt me because nobody can hurt me as bad as I hurt myself intentionally all the time. The only thing is they call him the Mad Dragon. Just call him the Mad Russian. I like that better.
We can't.
Because
Because we're having an international tiff with Russia in America.
He's from Moscow every time, and I'm not even sure he is because he's got more of a German accent than he does. He is Russian and German, and I think he's like an American citizen too.
Oh.
But they announced him from Moscow. Why not just call him the Mad Russian?
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, the Mad Dragon's not
We're
a
gonna
bad
put it.
nickname.
We'll
but-
put it in our letter, our weekly
Yes.
letter to WWE Creative. So this match went 13 minutes 58 seconds. So this rivaled the Ricochet Adam Cole NXT Championship title match.
Dragunov's my second favorite wrestler in the company after Kevin Owens. I've decided he has passed Gunther. I like him better than Gunther.
Yeah,
and I love Gunther.
Yeah.
And Gunther has a great match on this card.
Yeah.
Dragunov's incredible.
Yeah.
I like everything he does.
He doesn't
sells the way he does. He still does the I got you. It pops me every single time. Everything he does looks like he's trying to hurt the shit out of the person he's doing it to. And also when he's receiving damage, it's very believable.
Yeah.
Makes Ricochet, who sometimes looks a little soft, look like super impactful and painful because he's got those facials.
I think he can keep up this intensity with half a house too. I got that vibe from him real big where like this guy's acting.
Yeah.
And like he's playing a character and like it doesn't matter what's going on around him. This is what we get. And I love what we get.
The other thing, his entrance fucking rules. Yeah. It's different than anybody else's, but it's perfect because it's got the Russian vibe, but the classical music and the way he does the crazy ass like conducting with his hands.
Yeah.
It grabs my eye when he's doing that. It's coming down to the ring. It's
Absolutely.
like a Osprey kind of thing, like where you just, there's a reason for me to keep watching this guy.
Yeah.
Because he's got that energy. He's got that Osprey energy.
Right.
And then he's got it in the ring. He just got it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what to call his style because I don't know if I've seen it before.
Right.
He does like weird counters where he gets his hand down on the ground and does a crazy like bicycle kick
he
thing.
Has freak like kettlebell strength.
Yes. Yeah,
like
absolutely.
He's lifting like
he's doing a bunch of unconventional like lifting stuff.
Like his best friend's a bear.
Yeah.
And like it's in the snow.
Or use those like the things that the Iron Sheik used to use, the two big clubs where you just like shake them over your head.
Oh yeah,
to make you super
those
strong.
Are no fucking joke.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like the kind of guy, or like his strength is conducive to the kind of dude that would like do that type of a workout.
Absolutely.
More than, he's just incredibly strong in a bunch of weird ways.
Yeah.
Like
he's gonna be a big goddamn deal in this company.
He better be because he's awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think like you can have that much charisma and be that good athletically
and
have
not,
your matches be that like
his he's so invested. His energy's so high all the time.
And they don't historically balk at guys. Like Ricochet, they balked at because his promo's not that great. But like Dragunov doesn't have, like Punk just mentioned being a 5-tool player. Like Dragunov's a fucking 5-tool player.
Yes, he could talk. Like he can act. He can sell. He's awesome offensively.
He's a unique character.
Super unique character.
Awesome entrance.
Moveset that like
no one else has.
Don't remember ever seeing anybody do about 3 of the moves that he has in his moveset, which is saying a lot. I watch a lot of goddamn wrestling.
One of them is a so I wrote down he does the Constantine special, which is a 619 into a lariat.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
It's awesome.
Yes. And like just the names of all his shit is fucking cool.
Yeah, the H-bomb.
Yeah.
I think what's his face back of me was like, does he have a move called the H-bomb?
He does a top rope senton.
Yeah.
He did the rapid chop thing. That can go fucking away.
Yeah, but it's still better than Eddie's.
It was better than anything's better than Eddie's.
Really, Shibata's the only one I should keep. He's the only one that can really do it. It's like Danielson with the elbows.
Yes, that's fair. Well, if somebody on this show has to do them, let it be him because whatever. Ricochet does a cool spot. He does a Dream Valley Driver. I had to Google what the name of that was because I haven't seen it in a while. So, Velveteen Dream setup move, and then he kicks it right into a lion salt. It looked fucking awesome.
I should mention Ricochet looked great in this match as well because he had a dance partner.
Yeah, I mean, he did his. He did it again. We mentioned the Adam Cole takeover match that he had, where he did a moonsault and Adam Cole caught him with a super kick while he was upside down.
One of the coolest spots
He did the same
ever.
spot in this match, not with a super kick, but like you could tell he pulls out special stuff for when he feels like being
Ricochet
special.
probably is a tag guy just because the
he is
the other stuff.
He's currently the first ever speed champion.
Why no belt? Why isn't he wearing the title if he wanted?
Until you said it right now, it didn't dawn on me.
Came out without the new belts that they're promoting.
Well, they also said they're starting a new season of Speed soon, so I don't know if it's like.
Is it that's fast? It's that fast. It's like 4 matches and then there's new season.
I guess.
Ricochet, like he's so incredible in the ring, but he's an okay talker. Doesn't have much charisma outside of it.
None.
Like I said, give Jey Uso Ricochet's ability in the ring, you'd have like the biggest star in the world. But he is good when he's like, I liked him with Braun quite a bit when they were tagging.
Yeah.
I thought that worked a lot. I think he could be very successful doing something like that, like tagging with a big guy.
Give him a fucking heater.
They can talk a little bit.
Yeah.
Get a big Karrion Kross.
All roads lead back.
Seriously though, Karrion Kross, big guy. He wouldn't have to wrestle that well if you got fucking Ricochet next to him.
Also,
big guy that can really talk.
Yeah, heel Ricochet'd be fun.
Yeah, would.
It'd be different. But while we got face Ricochet, he the last
put on
I had a couple
5-star match with Ilya Dragunov.
So he does a he does a Poison Rana, which he stuck Dragunov.
I think they called it a Poison Rana this time too, which I was like, "Thank you, assholes."
As opposed to what? What do they usually call it?
The last time he did it, Cole was like, "What was that move? I've never seen a thing like that in my life." And I was like, "Yes, you
Poison
can,
Rana,
assholes.
stupid.
Poison Rana."
Bailey, we're looking at a photo. Oh, it's not her now, but Bailey did it to Sasha. But after the Poison Rana, he goes for a springboard moonsault. It's reversed with a forearm, and then a dope looking fucking H-bomb.
Yeah.
He buries his god.
It looks like Sin City when Bruce Willis bashes that yellow guy's head into the a putty.
Elijah Wood.
That it looks like no, Elijah Wood was Marv. Bruce Willis was that yellow bastard.
Sorry.
That yellow bastard was where he just punched until it was just brain and
so he was just hitting dirt,
bone fragments. Right. That's what it looks like. His H-bomb. It looks like he just smashes the victim's head into like Gallagher with a watermelon.
Yeah,
to call back an earlier mention from the show.
Y'all want to smash
unbelievable
some fruit? He goes for the Dragunov goes for the torpedo Moscow. It's reversed into they call it a recoil. I'm just fucking call it a code breaker.
Yeah.
On, grow up. The finish was...
Yeah, they said lion salt earlier, for Christ's sake.
The superplex... Dragunov does a superplex into a running H-bomb.
Yeah.
And he gets the W. So Dragunov is moving on. Next up, we have, in the tournament, Jey Uso versus Ilya Dragunov.
It'd be interesting to see what Dragunov can pull out of Uso.
Yeah. They might
Because I haven't seen Ilya Dragunov. I've probably seen 10 matches of his, over the years. I haven't seen him have a bad one. Right. So... Should be interesting.
Sometimes it's change of scenery, and in wrestling, it's change of dance partner.
Yeah.
So maybe,
Yeah.
Well, he'll look at Ricochet. Ricochet pulled one of the best matches of his career out because he just had somebody fun to play with, right? Which was not fun to play with. Next was the Queen of the Ring qualifying match. Zoe Stark versus Ivy Nile.
I didn't hate this either, though. You know what? I kept thinking this about both of these wrestlers. I'm like, they both have something. Their like physical tools are there. They both have a similar but interesting look, and they are pretty impactful. They just need any kind of I don't know anything about them. It's like what Dante Martin, something. Give them some kind of a character.
They gave Zoe Stark a hype promo. I think it was last week.
But the hype was just I've eaten people.
Yeah.
That's not give her a character or something, anything just a flaw or a quirk, anything that makes her personality a personality.
Right.
Because right now it was two kind of stocky, hard looking women beating each other up, which is fine. But they both would benefit immensely from any kind of a character.
Well, I think Ivy Nile was buddying up with Alpha Academy there for a second.
Yeah, but even that was just buddying up. Internally, personality-wise.
I agree
Otis,
he's
a goof.
Yeah.
He's a giant, scary, but lovable goof.
Talking about Bronson Reed?
Yeah. Maxine Dupree, Alpha Academy. She is super green, but you get behind her because she's so earnest and how hard she wants to work to get better. Just little character stuff.
Yeah.
Give either one of these two at least one of those things.
Right.
And this is a much more interesting match, and they have a brighter future.
Yep.
Because I liked their work.
Yeah.
But it was like watching a exhibition at the Performance Center or something.
Well, also too, Zoe Stark was in the ring as. They come back from a commercial, and she's already in the ring. She's sitting on the turnbuckle, and she looked like she wanted to fucking cry.
Yeah.
I felt really bad for her.
Yeah.
Because she was just in a feud with Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch not too long ago. And she's like, ugh.
And it's not her fault. She didn't.
No, it's not. It's not her
either.
fault. And then she was in some throwaway bullshit with Shayna Baszler, who also they couldn't have botched any harder.
Was this the match too where they did the Shayna Baszler? I'm desperate for her to go to AEW, not because they'll do better, just because they need to get her out of WWE because she's been kind of poisoned there, and I think she's got so much potential.
Well, look at her in NXT.
She's awesome.
She's tremendous.
She's got to look like nobody else on earth.
No.
She's
got a
super
skill set
believable,
like nobody else on
Yeah,
earth.
a super believable fighter. Like she's scary, which is hard for women to pull off.
Yeah.
And she's just never gonna. They shit the bed with her too hard. It's not gonna happen there. So I'd love to see her opportunity somewhere else.
You're not wrong,
or Japan,
man.
even go do that.
Yeah.
They would love her in fucking Japan.
Probably loves that paycheck. But yeah, Zoe Stark wins. So
Yeah.
that's that. Backstage, we have the Judgment Day. Finn Balor is annoyed he didn't win. Damian Priest says it's okay. And JD McDonough says that Finn Balor probably wasn't even at 100% because Braun Strowman interfered in their match last week. But they all agree that he'll be taken care of. Damian Priest says Braun Strowman will be taken care of by JD McDonough. And before he can react, Dominic walks in with Carlito. Damian Priest, and again, continuity. Damian Priest says, I'm glad you're here. 1 year ago to the day you cost me my moment in Puerto Rico, and I'll never forget that. You understand? Now, I don't know what you're doing. No, I'm sorry. Now, I don't know what's going on with you and Ray, but if you're looking for friends, there's no friends here. Carlito goes, look, that's the past. But look.
I did like Carlito's delivery here after, I was kind of shitting on him earlier.
Yeah.
His, aloofness here worked for me a little.
Yeah, that's the past. But look, you guys are the Judgment Day, and now you rule Raw, and that's cool. Damian Priest looks unimpressed, and he goes, all right, Carlito, all right, look, I need help with the LW. And from what I could see, you guys...
Floppy.
Yeah. He just tried to butter him up, and, they didn't want it. And from what I can tell... I'm sorry, from what I can see, you guys have problems with your own that you can help with. You guys have problems with your own that you can help with. Okay. You know how this works. Scratch my back. And then he says something in Spanish. So I assume we're going to see Judgment Day versus the LWO. That's where this is going. With a peppered in Braun Strowman. And also
it could be all right.
I'm fine with it. It's different.
It could be all right. Yeah.
It's different.
At first, I was going to be but thinking about it, it could be all right.
If we get Balor and Mysterio.
Do some interesting things with it.
Dude.
Yeah.
In the ring, we have Michael Cole with Rebecca Lynch.
With dope ass Adidas.
Yeah. Her promos, so she's fun to look at, but her promos,
my note here was, when did Liv Morgan become 1,000 times better on the mic than Becky Lynch? Because she fucking murders her in this segment.
Since she has been back from injury, around Elimination Chamber, I remember her being
that's when we started talking about it.
Yeah,
but
Homegirl
this
kicked
is
it up a notch.
Different levels. She was levels above Becky here. Everything she said sounded like she's doing a punk promo. She's talking like a person.
She's talking like a person.
Becky Lynch has got to do the and then it's like with Jey Uso and Damian Priest the week we were talking about
Jay Smoke
when one guy's doing the real talk and the other guy's doing the scripted it really stands out.
Absolutely.
And that's what we saw here. I was
Not
like,
wrong.
God damn, she's smoking her.
Yeah, and she's smoking the details too. We'll get to Liv in a second, but Michael Cole and Becky Lynch acknowledge that Becky Lynch was at the Kentucky Derby, and they talk about her outfit.
They talk about Seth's outfit. I sent you that text.
Yeah, Seth.
Wellness
check.
Wellness check. Yeah. What's going on there?
I shaved my beard off during COVID, and I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, are you okay, Dave?
I don't know what's going on with that.
I was bored. We had a couple years.
No, not you. I'm talking about Seth.
We could talk about my beard if you want. So Cole,
I assume your beard just grows right back in immediately.
Like Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
Cole asks Becky Lynch who she's looking forward to facing post-draft. And then Becky...
I don't care who I got to face.
And I got to...
I'm the baby face, and I'm going to only say boring-ass baby face stuff.
Collect my debts. She said she came up to Raw 9 years ago. Cool. She's hyping Isla Dawn, Alba Fire, Kiana James, Laya Valkyra, and Zelina Vega. Zero goddamn reaction.
Did Zelina Vega ever won a match?
She got a women's world title match in Puerto Rico.
She didn't win it.
No, that's about the highest.
Best thing she's done is when she was doing Hurricane Roundas for Andrade.
Yep. You're not wrong.
So Liv's right. Why are you talking about his other bitches?
But yeah, the crowd was just totally dead. And then she started recapping her match with Rhea at WrestleMania, talking about was she sick. And then, like, I was tuning out, to be honest with you. I have a hard time writing down what Becky Lynch says.
It's not good.
It
doesn't matter because it's what I just did. It's all that, like, generic.
But then she says something like, I remember her saying something like, oh, it's going to haunt me for the rest of my life. I'm like, I don't fucking care what you're saying. Nothing that happened at WrestleMania is going to haunt you for the rest of your life. Because even if it's, I lost at WrestleMania, you're holding the goddamn title.
Yeah, you have the belt. You won it like a week later. Thankfully, somebody with charisma.
That was my next note. Liv comes out, thank God. And details, Liv's got a little purple bandana sticking out of her pocket because she's new mommy.
She just fucked Dominic.
Yeah. Liv goes, blah, blah, blah. This girl,
She's
that
gonna
girl.
Steal one of his hoodies and never give it back.
It's going to smell so good. This girl, that girl, Kentucky Derby, my hat, and no mention of Liv. That's funny. Which I'm actually kind of insulted about because I'm so tired of being overlooked and underestimated here. In case you forgot, I am a Money in the Bank winner, former women's champion, multiple-time former tag champion. I beat Nia Jax in this ring just last week. And not to mention, I'm the one that took out Rhea Ripley. You're welcome. And after all that, the fact that I still can't get an ounce of respect out of you literally blows my mind. And she goes, you want to talk so much? Let's talk about the title match that you promised me last week. And Becky basically just says it'll happen at King of the Ring. Yeah. And she goes, Becky goes, you talk about all those things you've done, Liv. You've never beat me. And Liv goes, I'm actually glad that you brought that up because you're right, Becky. I've never been able to beat you in this ring one-on-one. And even after listing all my accomplishments, it wasn't until just now that I finally figured out what I've been missing all along. Purpose. And now that I have my purpose, I know that I can finally beat you because my purpose is getting revenge on Rhea Ripley, taking everything she loves and then becoming new women's world champion. Motivation.
Love it.
Yeah,
delivery is incredible.
Airtight.
I don't know where, like, she went to acting school or something, but her delivery is like off the charts good.
Zero scripting.
Like one of the best female promos in the company right now. Yeah. She's better than Rhea. Like,
she's better than Rhea. Dakota's up there.
Dakota's there.
But still, like this is high praise.
It's right there. It's like
speaking of, Damage Control comes out and Dakota Kai says
it's awesome too there.
Look at that. Liv Morgan gets a title shot that she did absolutely nothing to earn.
This was actually where the note that I had, like, Dakota's awesome too because it piggybacking on, I was like, oh, Liv is so great, and then Dakota comes out and I'm like, oh shit, she's awesome
she's
too.
Instantly referencing shit that just happened. But you know what? That's fine. We'll let you guys fight it out. Meanwhile, we have the Queen of the Ring tournament on lock. Io, she already made it to the second round, and I'm going to do the same. And then Becky, so the Damage Control starts walking to the ring, and Becky puts the title and mic down, and she starts throwing chairs out of the ring, and she's pacing like a fucking rabid animal.
Yeah.
Like, her energy needs to match the situation.
Yes.
She looked like...
Or what this... It elevated to a degree from this, like, subdued talk that she was doing to, like, Eddie Kingston at the end of Dynamite, like, out of nowhere, and nobody's insulted her or anything.
No.
They basically said, we want the title.
Yeah.
Which everyone says when you're the champ.
I mean, it's not unreasonable. That's the whole
point.
What does Steve Austin say? If you don't want to be world champ, why are you in the business?
Yes.
Dakota Kai continues on, but we figured we'd come out here and remind you guys who really runs Monday Night Raw. Becky and Liv go back to back. They're ready to fight because Damage Control is like coming in the ring. And then Liv just bolts out of the ring and it's not my problem.
Good acting here too. When she was like, it wasn't over the top. It wasn't cheesy. She was just like, sorry, it's not my problem.
Yeah. And then Becky gets attacked 3-on-1. And then Lyra Valkyra runs in to save the day.
She's awesome in the ring.
Good.
We
Lord,
haven't
was
seen
she
it yet,
good.
but like, she's awesome.
Yeah. And she's up next facing Dakota Kai in a Queen of the Ring qualifying match. It lasts 18... Nope, it lasts 8 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah, they didn't give her 18.
This is how much respect this match got. During the match, they felt the need to show a trailer for Kingdom of Planet of the Apes.
It was not even a trailer. It was like a special video package. It was like 5 minutes long or something. They did the intro, and then we got like behind the scenes for Planet of the Apes for 5 minutes.
Why?
And then came back to the match. Like, what is going on here?
It really fucking annoyed me.
It was that's the shit I always bitch about. I will say it was the only one on this show that I was like, what are you doing? This is nonsense.
And it was like above and beyond egregious.
Yes.
You're like, wait,
and
why?
it was for a brand new star who's an awesome in-ring performer. You're cutting into their stuff.
It's also piggybacking off of a fucking
like a super hot promo angle.
Dakota Kai's had 2 segments on this show.
Yeah.
Like, and and like, I hate to say it, put this during the Natalia match. Like, if you got to put it somewhere.
But even Natalia, don't do it. Like a behind the scenes documentary about Planet of the fucking Apes in the middle of your wrestling show.
You think something went long?
I don't know.
You think Punk maybe went long or something?
I don't think so. It didn't feel like it. Felt like
actually, no, nothing went long.
I thought the show felt really well paced, except for this stupid thing they did. Like,
well, apparently Hulu felt the need to get rid of Bronson Reed, so maybe they could have just put the trailer instead of that.
Well, yeah. They could have cut that.
Yeah. Well, they did. So.
I mean, the main program.
You're right. Yeah.
If I really need to see the behind the scenes documentary about Planet of the Apes,
no, I don't care. I didn't even know
I
they
could
were
search
still
that out if I want to watch that.
I got to watch like 2 more to watch this one. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
My only notes for the match were Lyra Valkyra, stiff as fuck.
I was excited when she got brought up.
She's going to be awesome. She's an awesome worker.
Yeah, she is.
Loved everything she was doing. And Dakota,
dude, the women's divisions in both of the major North American companies are fucking awesome right now.
Notching up a bit. Yeah, it's really good. And then she has the same finish as it was on AEW.
What's the finish? I don't remember.
It's the Fireman's Carry JML driver.
Made Japan? Is that
Mariah May's finisher?
It
is. It's Mayday.
Yeah, it's Mayday. It's Made Japan when Penta does it. But
I see.
But yes, when Mariah May does it, it's Mayday. Yes.
Yeah. So same finish.
Yeah. Similar wrestlers actually.
Which is cool.
Which both rule.
She's great. I want to see more of her wrestle. I want more of her on television.
For sure.
There's not much on this entire show where I'm like, could have done without that. Minus this Planet of the Apes bullshit.
Really good show. It's all wrestling.
Yeah. So after this, we get
all wrestling and a CM Punk promo.
There's really nothing to complain about. And then Lyra versus Zoe Stark will be next in the Queen of the Ring tournament. And then
that could be a good one.
It's gonna be great. Gunther fought Sheamus.
I'm really happy they gave Lyra a tournament win right off the bat too.
They got to build all these new NXT call-ups. They're not going to bury them right away. It's unfortunate that it's at the.
Well, I mean, like now we can say that under this era, but that used to be that way. Like,
no, it was never that way. No. Also, beating Dakota Kai like right away.
Yeah.
Like fuck yeah, dude. Because nothing's going to hurt her. She's one of the top women in the goddamn company.
And like her talking alone is going to always keep her. To a certain level.
It's what has kept her to a certain level. Because her work's catching up to her mouth.
She finally can wrestle almost as well as she can talk.
Yeah.
So.
King of the Ring qualifying. Nope, this is the goddamn tournament. King of the Ring match was Gunther versus Sheamus, 21 minutes, 5 seconds.
Which was the main event of the evening.
Sheamus got his body back.
He got his body back and he worked his fucking balls off here.
He did.
He's like clearly still not quite to where he was, like wind-wise.
Yeah.
Which made this even more impressive.
Yeah.
Because he was like fighting through being kind of gassed the whole time.
Yeah.
And like, it was just awesome. Like, he clearly was more of an underdog in this match than in the previous ones with Gunther because he was like not quite there. And Gunther was bringing the same energy he brought against Xavier Woods last week when he fucking tried to kill him. Did you see the Wilson? Sheamus posted after the match a picture of his chest or back, and it said Wilson because it was a big handprint. Like, it was like similar to their other matches, except for what I just said. Like Sheamus is still in storyline too, coming back because he's been out for a long time, but his body's back to where it looks like it did, and his wind is getting there. But it was more impressive that he was able to fight through that to put this match on.
Match is brutal.
I also very much appreciated that he was man enough to tap out instead of having to be fucking knocked unconscious like everybody else. Be confident enough in yourself and your ability to get back over to tap occasionally. Yeah. Nobody taps anymore.
No. Gunther made Sheamus tap with a single leg Boston Crab.
I love single leg Boston Crab. That's one of my favorite submission moves too.
Gunther needs to stop going to the top rope, by the way.
Yeah.
It's just chaos for him every
Yes,
time he
it
goes
is.
up
It's
there.
like Ric Flair.
He's never having a good time when he's up there. I don't have much to say about this, but like I just enjoyed the shit out of watching it. It was brutal as fuck.
Would have been my favorite match on the show if Ilya Dragunov wasn't wrestling Ricochet a little while ago. I'm very excited to see a rematch between Dragunov and now thin Gunther.
Yeah.
Because Dragunov versus Fat Walter was absolutely incredible like 5 years ago. So
Keep those. Well, are they going to cross paths in the tournament?
Ooh, that'd be a fucking beautiful final.
That could be the semis.
Ooh, that'd be sexy.
Do we want to do the bracket now? Are we running long, or do you want to?
It was do it real quick. Just read them off to me and like.
All right, so we're going to account what happened already, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, Kofi Ray.
Kofi, I think, because of what they did with Xavier.
Okay. So then Gunther Ray.
Gunther.
Dragunov Jay.
Dragunov.
Gunther Dragunov.
Gunther, even though I'm pulling for Dragunov.
All right, so you have him winning the Raw side.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have AJ Styles versus Randy Orton.
AJ.
Okay. Corbin versus Carmelo Hayes.
Carmelo.
Yep. LA Knight versus Santos Escobar.
That's a tough one. LA Knight probably because he's over.
Bobby Lashley versus Tama Tonga.
So
then we have, you said AJ, right?
Yep.
AJ Styles versus Carmelo Hayes.
Fucking banger. AJ, I think.
AJ. Then we have LA Knight versus Tama Tonga. So then we have AJ versus Tama Tonga.
Tama Tonga.
So then we have Gunther Tama Tonga.
That's going to fucking rule. And Gunther's going to win.
Gunther's winning the whole thing. I kind of agree with everything you said.
If they book anything else besides what I just said, it's not going to be as good as that. Like, but seriously, if that just goes to that plan, that's going to be a lot of great matches.
So what I think is going to happen, I'll give you mine real fast. I think Ray as well, Gunther Ray. So Gunther.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Uso.
Like probably
because they got to keep that. I still have Gunther. I agree with everything you said on the SmackDown side. That's the only thing I would change.
I think you're probably right, but I'm booking what I would book.
Yeah. I just only because I want to keep something special. I think this like in a semifinal tournament to redo the match that ended Walter's historic title reign on Raw. Like, dude, save that shit for Survivor Series or something.
Yeah.
But that was a very, very in-depth, very long WWE recap of this week's wrestling.
And if WWE wants to make me a super mega fan, all I got to do is do a tournament with awesome matches every single week because this rules.
Which shit we never see. These are and like Kofi Ray. Once I saw Kofi and Ray, I'm like, I've never fucking. If I have, I don't remember it.
Yeah, no. And I have Ilya Dragunov wrestle every single week.
Ilya Dragunov wrestle every single week. Liv and Punk cut promos.
Yeah.
And then have 7 matches on this.
Yes.
It's not a terrible thing for a wrestling show.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. I hope you're back again next week. If you haven't checked out the AEW portion of this podcast, it's dropping at the same time. And we will soon have a very special Turnbuckle Time Machine going up. I'll put it up on the website, bluethunderpod.com, when we figure out what day it's going to be going up. So hope to see you then, folks. Bye.
Everybody. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.